wondering, have people ever heard of it? Because I mean, it was quite around here. People would buy it up.
I remember hearing about grit. I remember seeing ads that you could sell grit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I read one or two copies, but I never got the paper regularly. I don't even know that might still be around too. I would hope so.
Was it a newspaper or was it a magazine?
It was a magazine
So,
and a
yeah,
newspaper.
I'm thinking something on the similar scope as Private Eye or New Statesman.
Well, Grit was
Mm.
weird. It was a Christian-based one,
Okay.
and it it well my
Prim little old ladies would love it.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Nothing in it would shock your grandmother. I think that'd be the way. That's what I remember about it. It was not a bad paper, but it was like all very, yeah, like
I was trying my
polite.
best to figure out a good way of saying it without being offensive to old women.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what helped me. That's a little old lady.
I hate saying
And
it.
we're all rapidly becoming little old men ourselves. So
It's true.
the other day I was at work. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys. And one of the things I do is I roll up canvas, and it's a lot like reefing a sail on like a sailing ship. And I don't mind doing it. It actually is giving me a nice upper body workout. I'm building up some forearm strength. But this guy came over. He's from Kazakhstan, and he comes over, and his arm is in this. He banged up his arm badly, and it's not a cast, but it's some kind of a brace that he have him in.
Hmm.
And he comes over to try to help me, and I said, "Not with your arm like that, dude. Wait till you heal, then you can help me." He says, "I can't stand by and see an old person work without helping them." I'm like, I told him that is a good sentiment. I'm really glad to hear that, and I wish we had more of that in this country. It used to be quite common. It's a little less so. He said, "Why?" And I explained to him about the Frankfurt School for 41. No, I did not. I said, "I don't know," but it reminded me of something that struck me, and this must have been in like the probably the early 1980s. But I started seeing people that weren't kids working at McDonald's. People with gray hair, people over 30 or 40 should not be working the register at McDonald's, and I knew something was deeply wrong then. Deeply wrong. And then you started seeing more and more. Like a buddy of mine just retired from the state of New York. Not the best tier on his pension, but he's retired. He's got all these bennies and this and that. He's still looking for part-time work
Hmm.
simply because of like, well, I mean, to be fair, he's incurred a lot of bills and this and that, but that's the point. You try to like, you've got to pay your bills and stuff. So
Did you hear what
yeah,
that one guy did? He was saving up change and all that through the years.
yeah,
The big water containers. He
uh,
would fill that up with loose change. Well,
right,
one time he had to go into the store to get the change thing from coins to dollars.
right.
Well, they charged him, I think it was $50 for the process
Oh
because
yeah,
he wheeled in there to about I think it was 2 to 4 water containers full of loose coins, and the machine couldn't handle it. And they said that there ain't no way that they could do it, but they had to charge a price because by the time they emptied the machine, they had to empty about 5 to 6 times in the
right.
process of
To
it.
pay their employees if nothing else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's that much money. I mean, hell, I don't know, man. Get out a lot of penny, nickel, and dime rolls, and get your friends together and have a party. Everybody
yeah.
gets a free roll of quarters. Did they ever get it counted? I wonder how much it was in there.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Well, I guess about like $300 to $600.
Oh, more than
Oh,
that.
Well,
okay.
yeah,
More than
So
that.
$50, I do 600.
yeah.
We have like
Mm.
change machines here that some of them will take like a percentage. Not all of them, but I can go to where I do my banking. Although they call it a credit union, and they got like a change thingy there. Um, I'm old fashioned. I just roll stuff up. Although we do have here in the States, very interesting thing with the U.S. penny, which apparently they've stopped minting. I don't really
Yeah.
think we're going to run out of pennies anytime soon. I've got tons of them, but I've probably mentioned it before. Apparently, pennies minted before I believe it's 1983 have more than 1 cent worth of copper in them. So they're actually worth more than a penny. I'm not sure exactly how much more. That probably changes with the copper price. However, for years now, we've been separating out pre-1983 pennies, and that was a small collection. Copper goes up enough, I'll take them down to the recycle place here.
Can you
Well,
recycle that?
I don't
Isn't
know.
that definitely-
This is America. There used to be laws about currency, like defacing currency and things like that. But there was a Supreme Court case, and I could be a little fuzzy on this. This is just something I remember reading about like decades ago. But basically, it used to be illegal to deface a dollar bill. Say, if you drew a mustache on George Washington, that was technically a federal crime. But there was a case where they basically said that writing on a dollar bill or any piece of paper money was covered by the amendment covering freedom of speech, First Amendment, which also
Okay.
covers like defacing coins. So we used to sell these little Lincoln pennies or Kennedy coins with a little heart print. You know, they take a stamp and like stamp a heart or stamp other things. We have machines here where you can put a coin in and it goes through a press and it squashes the coin down and you got like a little impression in it. So they made a whole industry over defacing American currency. And if you think about it, every coin that's destroyed like that is one less penny that the Fed has to pay off on. So anyway, I don't think if I brought like 8 or 10 pounds of copper down there just because it was in the form of like little pennies, I don't think they'd blink. I don't know. What about your neighborhood driver? Do you think they'd care?
I heard it was against the law to take pennies to the recycling place.
Well, that's because
Really?
he listened. He listened to my dad. My dad talked all that stuff. Like
Well, it used to be. It did
Yeah.
used to be against the law, but they changed it in the 70s, I think. 70s or 80s.
they started getting all into that kind of stuff whenever they started allowing people to burn flags and stuff. You know,
Well, that's it.
it was like they changed their whole attitude. They became hippies and liberals and all those cool. Let's let that stuff slide kind of crap. You know what I mean?
It
It's
was the Frankfurt School. The
Yeah.
Frankfurt School.
we'll call it that.
They had to dismantle the society by dismantling the family.
Yeah, you want to hear? There was a thing on the thing about that. The guy made up a book and about how families changed and all that. And he said that for one thing, both sides are bad about it. That they tell, like when the kids get in trouble or when an adult starts to speak about to the children, that the other one says you don't listen to that person at all. You listen to what I say when I say. You don't pay no attention to what that person says, mother or father on either side. It's like that you obey by what that one says, not the other one.
Right.
And that's the downfall about family and about family values to me. Because when either side that does that to inform the kids, you don't pay attention to the other. You listen to what I say and only what I say. That's the downfall.
Well, that's one of the worst things I've heard lately, and this would have been very shocking at one time, and it's shocking to me, is when teachers are saying that only they should decide how a child should be raised. The parents aren't smart enough, don't have enough degrees. The parents shouldn't. The child shouldn't listen to either parent. The child should listen to the teacher, and lie to the parents, and no, don't tell your parents. And they really feel that this is a right thing to do. Most of them don't have children themselves, which I find very, very odd and suspicious. It's like, because you want to procreate your ideas, and and it's like, you know what? If someone has certain ideas, they're allowed to teach their children this. That's why you have children, in part, to pass on. And the children, of course, are not going to accept all the ideas, probably not anyway. But that's between you and the kid. It's not for the teacher there to set up a separate rooting section and support service and even say, well, we're going to, they even take children away. Yeah. And that to me was when I first saw people saying that out loud as if it's something to be proud of. I thought that's really far gone from the society I grew up in. Of course, I'm still growing. I'm still getting there. Sideways more than anybody else at this age, but I'm still a growing
Well,
boy.
it's like a teacher here in West Frankfurt took a student and where you go and sit in the room, do your homework and all that. If you
Right,
got in trouble, well,
right.
this one stupid teacher decides to tape up the student in the chair, hands, feet, and all.
Oh my goodness.
Leave that student there like that in case of a fire and all that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, I mean that's by no means intelligent. And on top of that, what you call that? Where when you report when you when you when you respond to where you can't the person cannot leave, you're holding against their will.
That's
oh
a
yeah.
good.
That's illegal restraint. That's
Yeah,
technically kidnapping. I mean, it's
yeah,
a federal offense. That's like federal time.
yeah,
And plus a monster federal suit. State, local suits. I mean, you can sue the school on every level.
yeah,
It's insane.
yeah. But
And
they brought that up. They did, and they looked. The parents looked and said, "Why?" Because he was acting up and not paying attention. That still sure in the heck ain't that. I mean, call the parents and notify them, or do something else except do that. Because I mean, to me, that's just like what you call it, where if you don't bail by what that teacher says, it sounds a bad thing.
right,
I mean, to me, that speaks the volumes of if you don't listen to what I say, we're going to have problems. If you don't buy what you agree, if you don't agree with what I say,
right.
I'm going to, I mean, it's just not a
Well,
good thing.
so that's the whole difference between education and indoctrination.
Yep.
Education is teaching you to think for yourself and figure stuff out. Indoctrination, that was originally done by doctors, doctors of the church. So this was indoctrination,
Yeah.
right? So the Latin is very revealing about this stuff.
Yeah,
And
but
you were expected to parrot whatever they said, and what they said was how it was, my way or the highway.
yeah,
You weren't supposed to think. You just did what you were told.
that's true. And like right now, okay, and we were on this one discussion about teaching kids and all that about
Right,
things. Okay, like here in town. Okay, we know two of them that got killed by guns by young kids.
right,
Okay, their parents, for one, did not what you call it teach them right from wrong or however. Well, they just didn't have a hesitation of giving a gun to one. He got a gun from his father to give to his friend, and then his
right.
friend shot and killed this girl.
That,
Okay,
uh, that's
and
not
that
responsible.
no, and when it comes to common sense, the ideal that nobody was explaining to children today about
Well,
you don't do that.
the thing is that really does fall on the parents. Like
Oh yeah,
you got it.
Well, that's a good point because they go on about if you look at how the law was originally set up, right? The parents were responsible, very responsible for what happened, and under the old laws, you were the head of the household, right? You were the dad. That meant that you had corrective power over your family, right? If you took a switch to your kids, or hell, I hate to say it, even your wife back then, it was allowable under the law because you were a kind of a magistrate. But because if anyone in your family committed a crime, if your wife, your kid stole something, you had to pay for it. And if they committed a murder, you might be the one that's hung because you allowed this to happen. You were responsible. How could you allow a member of your household to do this? Did you tell him to do it? He's under your control. It's kind of like, I don't know how it is in your state, but here in New York, if you get into a car accident and you hit the car in front of you, doesn't matter how quick they stopped, you weren't in control of your car. You should have had enough car lanes to be able to stop in time to not hit them. So they presume that you're guilty. The same way, if
Yeah.
someone in your household commits a crime, that's your fault. You should have been in control. and you have to pay the penalty.
I actually
So-
lost my license at 18 because of that same situation, and the only reason why they couldn't freaking get me for the ticket, saying that I was responsible, was because I was able to take the car to a mechanic and have them check the brake calipers.
Uh-huh.
They would have done even worse than just taking my my license away if I didn't do that. So, like,
Right.
if anybody gets in that situation, just be aware. You take it straight to the mechanic and let them look at the brake cylinders. Because that's what happened with me.
Yeah.
If they find out that something happened with the brake cylinders and it caused it not to be able to stop, then you're good. But you're right. That it doesn't matter. If they come to a complete stop automatically and you can't stop in time,
Yeah, and they can be at fault. They can back into you even. I've heard of people doing that just so they can collect money. But yeah, it's just a presumption. They just say, okay, you're at fault. Doesn't matter whether you are or not. But like Raj says, I mean, you can maybe show cause enough to get them to back off on it. But it's just it's an automatic thing. So there used to be an automatic responsibility. I mean, it used to be scary for a kid to get in trouble and be brought home to their parents because the parents were going to get a bill for whatever vandalism that the kid did, and then if they didn't pay, they could be sued. Yeah, there was responsibility. I don't think that happens now.
No, and like they said too, kids today, they know that if their parent touches them, they can call Family Services on to them
That's the other thing
and
too.
say
Yeah,
whatever. But back in the 40s and 50s, I know it's a TV show, but you look at for what it was back then.
oh yeah,
All the kids knew back then that if you tread on the thing of disrespecting them, they're gonna disrespect you by smacking your butt, and
Right.
and you can't be going calling up family, unless you got for real proof. You can't be calling up anyone to saying, well, he did this, he did that.
right.
Back then, they
hold on. No, I want to
do
point something
different
out.
things.
You didn't have family services back then. Like, and the one issue I have, abuse, okay, is a bad thing, right? But
Right,
that should
yeah.
be in the hands of the law. It shouldn't be in the hands of these third parties that call themselves child protection and freaking,
Yeah,
stuff, CPS and all that. Those
Yeah,
aren't
we got
even.
that here.
We need law enforcement dealing with that stuff. You know what I mean? And everybody's like, well, that puts strain on the police force. Well, that's where the strain should be. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's like everybody says that. It's like it's the police's job to do this shit.
and give the police the money you're giving to the CPS people.
Right.
Let the police hire more people then.
You
Let
know?
them have officers that are assigned to that. Why not? We got them assigned to other things the police need to do.
I mean, police drive around looking at people's freaking grass, dude. Okay. Do you know what I mean? We have people who are cops that are driving around and have nothing better to do.
We got a guy in it's a car with a little light on top. It says code enforcement officer. He rides around and does that. He's way behind.
But what I was
Actually, these officers just monitoring Twitter
Hmm.
but
and social media or hateful words.
Yeah, you got it bad there in the UK. Hey, you know what? Before we go too deep into this other stuff, I wanted to ask the brothers Hanson, are you getting hit by that smoke from the Canadian wildfires?
We aren't, no.
Oh, is it still going on up there?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
horrible
but-
here the last few days. I'm kind of dizzy from working out in it all day. And yesterday, the whole sky was orange.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine that works on one of those dispatch boards got calls from old people who thought it was the apocalypse.
No,
Seriously.
we aren't getting it, but I know not last week, but the week before when we were doing our show on Earth, we checked that out on the what do they call it? The breathing conditions
Right.
for air. And New Hampshire, the entire northern part of it is just completely freaking gray.
Well, we were up near 200 today, and it was, I think, over 200 in Saratoga Springs. It was actually worse today, although the sky didn't look as bad. Yesterday was weird, man. It was like something out of a science fiction novel. I was driving off to work. I told my wife, I think we're in a bottle. I think I'm going to get to the Queensbury town line. The car will just pop back here. Somebody didn't want the sample. We're in a Mobus, or what do they call it? Klein bottle. We just keep going around and around in a circle inside.
I want. I mean, I
I
know
thought
it's
maybe
been.
you guys were hit by that there, though, because I think you're further west than me. But I don't know what the air currents are doing.
Right now, we have a really strange humidity and heat with water, rain. It's
Right.
like there's times where it rained and I don't think it should have. It was just too hot, you know. So
Wow.
we're having flooding issues, I guess.
Really?
hmm In the middle of all this heat.
With a big old store, the roof collapsed. Half of the roof of the store collapsed with the people inside. A
Uh-oh.
lot of them got washed up through the front door.
Wow. That sounds like a lot of rain.
Yeah.
How about in the UK, Mark? What's going on there weather-wise?
Just hot and humid. Hot and humid.
So hot and humid that you gentlemen may have noticed Lord Edworthy is not deigning to wear a cravat this evening. No tie. Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys were up late last night. How did that go? What did you guys talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I had a few other things to do afterwards, and actually, I didn't actually get to sleep until way after 10 a.m.
Wow.
my time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Woke up about 5-ish.
for what I've heard on that, I went to the bathroom. I heard some of the conversation, and the mind boy comes in the type of the ideal that they have is really shocking. They say that we're supposed to be intelligent today, but we still think of it in ways of back in the 1945 during the World War and all that, where it's all right to mass slaughter people and all that because of the religions, and if they don't like a certain race, they just will eliminate them completely.
Well, don't be talking about that on here because
Okay.
we're
just
not
saying.
we're not about that.
Let's move to a more quantum gathering subject.
Yeah.
Something that Bob brought up earlier, and I think was kind of interesting. We were talking about how people do better when they have some contact with nature.
Yeah.
And there was that saying, "Touch grass," and she made the point that people blame all these things happening to our society on the LLMs, the AI, so called.
What is that?
The AI, the artificial intelligence. People interact with it and they commit suicide, or they do this or that or the other thing. And but it's true. If you got rid of that, people just watch TV instead. It's really just an aspect of our society. Most people, or at least a lot of people, are just cut off from any kind of interaction with the real world. And I saw this really cool article by this guy. He said he was de-digitalizing himself, basically, not getting rid of his technology, but just trying to use it more sanely. I think it kind of touches what I talk about, how Captain Kirk uses his AI. He asks it to solve a specific problem, but he doesn't sit down and have a discussion with it to try to figure out whether he has a soul or not. So it's I think he would regard that as pretty pointless. So it's like you've got this technology, but you can't stop beaming down the planets and saving green-skinned alien girls from insane former Starship captains. I forget what was the name of that episode, but you guys remember it. Actually, he didn't save her. Just poor Kirk. Point Garth. But yeah, we still need to engage with the physical world. I mean, I get up every morning and I look outside. I sit in my back. I call my back stoop, which is a Dutch word. We have a lot of Dutch people around here. And I watch the birds. I look at the grass, the trees blowing in the wind, the tree I have to cut down, the grass that needs mowing. All these wonderful things that relax me. And I think we can embrace this technology, but we really need to also embrace our humanity. We're not machines. We're not transhumans. That's an interesting science fiction-y kind of an idea, but you know, an insulin pump or a brain implant that allows you to play chess is not transhumanism. It's steps towards healing people, and it's a good thing. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not stop being human.
Yeah, that's sure there. But
Yeah.
but what a lot of people don't stop to think about is that word. How far do you go before you hit that word? That the meaning of that word.
Human?
You know?
Hmm. Well,
Because they're talking about all these new things, space exploration, because the human body cannot handle deep space. But if you go
what?
to the way they're talking about, you as a person don't really exist anymore. Where's your
Uh,
soul at when you have that done? The person that you who makes you who you are can that go into the process of what they're talking about with the technology. Your essence as a person and what makes you you, who you, everything about you, can that take and put that into a mechanical machine, into a mechanical device?
I don't think so. I'm going to side with you and Captain Kirk on this because that sounds like a question Captain Kirk would ask.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, you can copy things down. I mean, I've read science fiction novels where they talk about copying people down to the level of molecules, down to the level of atoms, and they have this idea that if you make something identical, that it's the same thing. And I remember reading this very interesting science fiction story. I think it was by Michael Swanwick, who's a good writer. And in it, there's all these copies of this guy. And when they had this technique where one of the copies was old and he couldn't wait until his younger self drained all the memories out of his brain by copying them into his brain and in the process killing him, because then he would have a young body again and he'd be aware of all this stuff. I don't, I didn't see that as a really good ending of the book. It felt very, because can't see anyone actually feeling that. If I explained to you that by getting into the transporter, you would be destroyed, but an exact copy of you would be made down on the planet where the green, girl is, and the mad starship captain, I would say no, get me a shuttlecraft. I'm not going to die. So some copy of me and then another copy made from that copy. Um, I don't think that anything, the thing about sending humans into space, there's two ways to approach it. You can modify humans to fit the technology, which I think is rather short sighted, or we can develop the technology to the point where humans can travel comfortably in space. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of effort. That's why it's a lot cheaper to send AI controlled rockets to Mars first to get like preliminary work done. And that's one of the ways to do that. But we've got to develop, if we want to travel into outer space, we've got to develop ships where we can live comfortably for long periods of time and over generations, I think. We're talking big ships. We're talking probably hundreds of years in the future. But I think we're getting a good start. We've been doing pretty good ever since I think some Chinese guy in the early hundreds AD strapped a lot of rockets to a chair. He was going to try to see if he could fly up into the sky. I think it just blew up. But since that time, we've come a long way.
yeah.
Funny enough, I was looking at the share prices of current share price of SpaceX just before we
Ah,
started, and it went to an IPO, initial public offering, about a month ago, and It's already dropped by 35%.
ooh, now's the time to buy. Buy the dip, dude.
Yeah,
Buy the
but
dip.
well, yeah, but you know why, don't you? It was on the news.
It
He
was
made
it
a
was overly inflated.
yeah, but he replaced all his satellite resized. There's going to a whole new level of them, and they're for space exploration. When they go to Mars, the internet hooks up to the thing to help communications from the shuttle, the ship
Uh
back
huh.
to Earth, and they set it up to where better communications, and they're going to be more them special probes be sent up there to make another round going around the Earth of them small probes I was talking about
Right.
that they replace, and every 5 years, all that will be shut to Earth to be broke up to be replaced by the newer model of it.
Oh
Every
wow.
5 years that he has them replaced because they're no longer running,
Right.
and they got all new stuff and all that
Planned
for the sole
obsolescence.
purpose of it.
How much is that going to cost?
Well, I don't know,
Is it financially viable?
but we call it what like how they got that they got it lined out of like three different types of area. For the
He
small
must
ones,
have
are
had
third level.
he must
Uh,
have had bean counters looking at it. I mean, they've got
yeah,
to have some model where you got a bottom line in the black. I was just suddenly thinking about disposable lighters. You know, I mean, there was a time
Yeah,
when the
but
idea of a disposable lighter would have seemed ridiculous. These are disposable satellites.
yeah.
Huh.
He set it up to.
Musk is not known for his financial expertise. Must I say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Musk
he's
isn't.
setting new standards in the thing of when it comes to the probes that well the new ones that he has stuck up there he's looking at sticking about 4 times that what he's stuck up there now. So he's adding to another 4 levels of that same amount, four
Huh.
times that.
Hmm.
And
Well,
if
you know,
what do you
I'm
call
thinking
that? Hmm?
low Earth orbit.
Yeah, uh, there's three left orbits for, and they the way they explained it on there is for the big satellites is orbit one. For medium satellites is orbit two. Third is for small ones, like what he has
Hmm.
that goes around Earth.
Hmm.
And he's setting it up to where he has like they're going to be wrapping around Earth about 4 times, different direction from like east to west, north to south, and all that around Earth
All
for the
right.
small probes.
Hmm. I'm getting mad
Yeah, but
scientist vibes all of a sudden. Soon my satellites will stage the Earth.
what is their application? What are they going to be used for?
For the internet, they're part of the
Uh,
internet.
but
Satellite
but
internet.
if consumers are getting good speeds or good quality service from current infrastructure, and that's reasonably priced, why would consumers want to now
Well, like
use
hmm?
already proven to be less
Each satellite is also going to have a 700 gigawatt laser, which he can focus wherever he wants. I think that's what is really going on here.
Because they're talking
yeah,
like
but it will have to also be price competitive. It's going to have to be price competitive with existing infrastructure as well. And I can see that happening.
because
The consumer isn't going to spend 3-4 times on a service on let's say in satellite-based internet if they've got the same service or better service using conventional means,
well,
and
yeah,
that's a lot cheaper.
well,
Maybe
yeah,
it's a stopgap. Maybe he thinks that in 5 years he'll have a better system put up, but this will keep things going in the meantime.
well, that and what it be added is an extra security to where when other satellites when they fall or break down or they need a little boost for signals and all that,
So
that could help
you
out
say,
too.
hang on, you are saying it's additional security just in case the satellite is broken down. But at the moment, most people are not using satellites anyway. They're using conventional cell tower or wired connections.
Well, I found
And
out.
so, who cares if a satellite breaks down? We're not using satellites.
Yeah, but we are. But we are
point of
using it
security.
because they got it set up to where satellite hooks up interfaces with the tower, and the
Okay,
tower.
no, the conventional user in the Western world, all over the world, are using the.
However,
Yeah, but they're
you know, what I'm thinking here is this system, and I understand where you're coming from, Mark. I mean, if it's costing more money and it's not producing anything that's going to be significant for the average user, um, is there another reason? This is my
Yeah.
first thought. If he's thinking that there will be a sudden demand for satellite linkage, think in terms of the internet being turned off as it's done in some countries, infrastructure collapses. We've had major power grid sabotages here, traced directly to the Chinese government. This goes back to the Clinton administration. I know, but still, we're talking a mad scientist here. I mean, a benign mad scientist, but this guy isn't thinking logically. He's thinking like,
Yeah, that's true.
he's thinking like a superhero or possibly a supervillain, and the line is very fine in these postmodern days. That's why I was only half joking about the 700 gigawatt lasers, and it's like the Empire State Building disappears. Now the world will bow. You know what? I don't think he would do that.
well
But
that and
on a bad day,
well they're talking about going to the moon and then from the
On
moon
the same
to
point,
Mars. But we're not saying that
yeah,
they're
on
going
the
to set
same
it
point,
up.
Open AI is thinking about, or not Open AI. What's the company? Claude.
Oh, right.
Anthropic, PBC is thinking of putting creating an IPO themselves within the next couple of months, and they're intending to sell a, a trillion US dollars valuation of shares. I won't say
Wow.
worth, but and again, I can't see that being sustainable in the long term.
That does sound kind of crazy. Of course, we have gotten to a point in the history of inflation where, a billion here, a billion there, eventually it adds up to real money, as they say in Washington. I mean, a trillion, what's $1 trillion anymore, really?
Yeah. But
I mean, that was probably something like having £1 million sterling back in like 1901 or something, and there were guys that, it's what it represents is not so much money as the amount of resources that you can manipulate with these little tickets, basically. But the tickets are getting worth less and less every year, as we all know, to our detriment. At least I know when I saw it. No, don't get me going. So it's I don't know. It does not sound sustainable, though. I mean, just purely, I thought you were going to say that they were raising it with the idea that they would set up a lunar base.
well, they probably are.
But if they're just going to do more of the same, but I mean, if they're making their IPO saying, "Hey, we're another, we're Claude, woohoo, look what we got," and our smoke and mirrors are brighter and smokier. I don't know if, especially after SpaceX took that 35% dive. Although again, buy the dip.
But what they're wanting to do as well, set it up to where they recognize too that we call that when they transfer communications from one spot to the other, the distance,
Right.
and they're wanting to set it up to where in certain ways they can enhance that problem there. It still might take, but not as long. But to make sure too, it's clear where they understand, they can hear better. To make sure that whatever flaws they came across, they can correct it best that they can.
Right. Well, I'm sure they can make improvements in quality. I think there's the one question: are these improvements worth the investment, and are they even going to be noticeable? But on the other hand, again, when he's building this stuff, he's thinking in world historic terms.
Yeah.
He's thinking in a big picture. He's not driven by profit, or as Lord Edworthy said, what was it? His business decisions. He's not the best at business decisions, traditionally, or something along those lines.
Or
He's not a businessman.
or he could be looking at it for his family's point of view. So you look at all the of his family member, his kids. Okay, by the time they hit an adult age and all of that, look how far they can go with what's going on now, and how
Oh.
far they're able to go when if all that gets put in place now.
Well, you know,
Yeah, but
too, if his kids
he's
would get a phone call anywhere on the earth. I mean, that's another thing too. I'd love to have my own private satellite system, so I could get a phone call no matter where I was.
Well,
I'm
it's
sorry,
just-
Mark, I didn't mean to cut it
but,
off.
but you aren't going to go off Earth. You aren't going to.
no, that's not what I was
Not that
trying
you
to
know of. I mean, you know, the saucers hover occasionally. They might grab me one of these days. That's
Yeah.
that's about the only way I'm going to leave the planet. I think, though.
Well, no, but what I was referring to is okay. I forget what. It's a big old company, hotel, big and organized hotel, are
Uh-huh.
talking about building a hotel in space. Okay,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
and by doing that, okay, and they're talking about mining. Okay, well, since he's already got the ships for space exploration and all that, and the technology, high
Right.
speed AI to work
Right.
and do that without people needing people. Maybe he might need a few, but his family will be set up to work and run that company, however big it is.
Not necessarily. Remember,
Well, I'm just
businesses
saying.
come and go. In 5 years' time, Musk might be the most poorest person in the world.
That's sure, but
You never know. You never know.
that's right. Because look at I forget who is what's his name. That one guy that was on that game show. He said he was he was connected to Howard Hughes, the millionaire that they were trying to find out who his family members were, and they could never find. Well, when he stand on national TV on the game show and mentioned it, they said that about a week later, the State Department came up to him, risked him off, and did. And I guess it's true. I don't know, because they said that they haven't seen him or anything else, and the news reporters during that time couldn't find him.
Hughes? He used
Yeah,
to
Howard
drop out of
Hughes.
sight a lot. Yeah, he dropped out of sight a lot.
No, that guy that Howard Hughes died, and his
Oh,
family,
oh,
and
oh.
then his family, he didn't have no family they could find. But this guy was on a game show host, and that guy asked who is he related to. He says, I'm kin to Howard Hughes. And soon
Oh,
after he
okay.
made that statement, the government walked up and had him go to where with them. And from since during that time, the news reporter said they couldn't find him at all because he was like just disappeared.
Well, you know, that's it's a family trait with the Hugheses. They do disappear.
Yeah, but the government, what you call it, they put that money way back in an account for the.
You realize how much conspiracy is around Howard Hughes, right? I mean, you're talking like stuff that nobody.
Oh, you know who his whole thing was. He was convinced that like the Eastern politicians were buying up senators and buying up influence in Washington. I don't know if it's true or not, but he started doing it in order to protect himself. So he started buying up all kinds of influence, and his biggest political patron or person that he gave money to was Richard Nixon. He bankrolled Nixon. Nixon and him were like, he was one of Nixon's biggest people behind the scenes kind of deal. Him and the Archer Daniel Midland's company, which is the guys that led the way to genetically modified crops, soybeans and corn especially. Nixon was pushing corn. I think I talked about this before. He was frightened by the food riots that he'd heard of in the Soviet Union, the bread lines. And he never wanted that to destabilize the U.S. So they came up with this idea: we'll always have enough food. That's why you see so many fat Americans now. And because he leaned on corn, and stuffing people full of corn isn't necessarily good for them. And corn syrup and corn oil
Yeah.
and soybeans were a natural. Anything you could make a lot of calories cheap and quickly. So we'd always have food security. That was his. Again, it was a solution to a problem, and now the solution is a problem. Fascinating how that works. All these problems are the solutions of previous problems. Look at nuclear energy.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I don't
not
know.
one.
Well, it's a solution to Japanese people, and then
Well,
That's a
when
problem.
was Fukushima? That was for I can't remember 20 years ago now.
something like that. At least.
Something like that. It was some time ago. No.
But that's what I'm. Even if, however it worked, but if his family does survive, and by them mature as an adult, however the company or how big it could come of, if they all was to want to work into that company, just imagine with what he would teach them and all that from today until that time, where when things get to actually be even bigger. Look at what the size of it is now. Just imagine what size it would be in the future if things escalate to more, where more space exploration, mining, land,
Well, they'll always have an
asteroid
edge.
mines, and all that.
Oh yeah, they'll always have an edge, and if they had a personalized LLM to help them, it would help a lot. But keep in mind, everybody else has access to these now too, so it wouldn't give them a huge. Now, if they were the only ones with an LLM, although that would make an interesting science fiction story. You've got an LLM, you're transported back in time to, I don't know, the 1970s or 1980s, and then you try to use it to influence the world around you. But then it would hallucinate, of course. So it'd be interesting how you would handle that as preparing court cases. We've had a lot of that happening. Makes up case law. I love that. And Viva Vetsa Rosas Patsubi, it was quite. As a sovereign citizen, you don't have to show your driver's license.
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to.
That's interesting. That there's an entire discussion in this country by using large language models in court cases at the moment.
Really, it's
Yeah.
spread. Oh my goodness.
Like the UK, they got that thing where they can re-engineer the human body and all that from birth. They could take 3 adults, take their DNA, and do that.
They've removed the tails. They're re-engineering their entire population into aristocratic Superman. We have one with us tonight. He's an example of their work.
In theory, you could re-engineer.
Well,
legally speaking, you can't in the UK.
They actually took that animal and did that with.
Yes, but in there was an act passed. I looked at this last week, didn't I? When we were talking about genetic modification and genetic engineering, the differences between them, legally speaking. There is an act in this country which currently prevents that.
So only the government can do it then.
Well, England, they can do that.
Technically, it'd be illegal for the government to do anything. So yeah.
Oh, I meant to ask you before I forget. What's this I hear about? They're going to be turning the internet off at night in the UK or something. They're going to be banning.
What?
I saw something. I don't know if it was a meme or not. They were going to be basically they were going to try to discourage people from using social media. So they were going to turn social media off for several hours a day. I thought it was a joke, but there's people online reacting to it and they said, "Oh, they're going to be doing it in Canada soon too." 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something. It would be internet free. Government approved stuff with this.
It took me a moment to unmute, but that wouldn't be a bad thing. Like
I was thinking that myself. But
when it comes to
But I'm
Canada,
a-
especially, we got too many friends in Canada that just do not need to be up at like 2 in the morning. Hiroki.
But what would I be doing all night?
No, I'm talking about
Yeah,
Hiroki.
how would you communicate with me?
Well, me and you're in England. I'm talking about freaking Canada.
You're saying that the routes go through Canada into your country, the
No,
internet does.
no. He was talking
No,
about England
no.
and Canada. They're gonna give them curfews, but it would actually be a good idea for Canada. That would solve a lot of problems.
You wouldn't be able to speak to Tan. That's all.
Well, 10's he falls asleep by 10. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Well, unless you really got a good conversation going on there. That one time, he actually, I was surprised. He did fall asleep, but not that quickly. I mean, you have to have a good conversation, something that really piques him up.
I just uploaded that meme to the Quantum Gathering for Mark to look at. I don't think it's real. There's no source. But I don't think anyone under the age of like 35 should be allowed access to the internet. Personally, I don't trust anyone under 30.
APT?
I don't know.
APT?
No idea. Associated Press Television. I don't know. It's probably something just made up. But it is odd that they would put a logo like that in there. That's all I know. That got posted in a Discord somewhere or something, and people were going, "How awful! Typical! It's fascism! How dare they?" I don't know. Did anyone look it up? I didn't even bother to look it up. I really don't think they could do that.
Well, it's like someone made up a thing, okay, about the U.S. What do you call that? Where you're instead of volunteering for the military, selected service.
Oh yeah, drafting people, national
Yeah.
service.
Yeah,
Not a bad
they
idea.
were trying to do that. They were making it. They put a thing on the internet about that the U.S. is doing this, and people that age from like 21 and under has to come get ready to be started. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I don't buy that because for one thing, if that was the fact, you'd be hearing that on real news.
Yeah, they'd been talking about it for weeks and arguing about it, and they'd
Yeah.
be debating it. There'd be headlines. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad idea. Like if you're 18 or something, you sign up for national service, and like you can spend a year like working on roads or working in forests, or you could join the military or the Navy or anything like that, and just do like a year or two. Make some money, get out in the world, meet some people. It wouldn't be a bad thing for young people to do. Not everybody, but I think most kids could do that. Pretty good.
Well, like they found out, they made a statement. They found out that if you leave it up to the people that does want to, there's more people that actually have signed up on their own than what it was is if you did that selected service.
Oh yeah. My uncle was in the Civilian Conservation Corps. Ever hear of that? The CCC.
I don't know. I haven't. I don't.
That was back in the 1920s. They came up with it to fight the Depression. It was like a government program, but they would hire kids and young people, 17 to 25 or something like that. I forget the age. And you went out and you worked at a lumber camp. They made trails in national parks. You cleared timber. You did all kinds of woodwork. And you were out camping and hiking. You made good money, which usually, if you were a good kid, you sent home to mom and dad. And they were turning people away. They had to it was he found ways to sneak in. You were only supposed to be able to do it once every so often. So he'd reapply under his brother's name. No photo ID back then, and they didn't really care, I don't think. I think if you give people these programs, they'll line right up for them. There's a lot of young people that would love to get out there, have a decent job, meet some people. I'd have loved to have that opportunity when I was a teenager.
I was just thinking about the old Starship Troopers novel.
That was a great book.
Remember? No, if you don't serve, you don't get citizenship.
That
Oh, okay.
actually
Oh, I
has
get-
a basis in American law because there was a Supreme Court ruling where this person tried to basically say that the government had no right to conscript him. And the government, I think it was the Supreme Court, said basically the fact that you vote means that you are obligated to serve in the armed services. And of course, they do have what do they call conscientious objector jobs that you can do. So it's not like they're forcing you to put a knife in your hand, but you still have to serve the military because you have that vote. So the franchise is bought with that willingness to put your life on the line. And that, as far as I know, is the modern legal theory. I mean, it was an old one, but I think it had to do with World War I or something. I don't think anyone's thought about it much. But as far as I know, so Starship Troopers,
It's
the
actually
idea that you don't
Greek.
get a vote unless you serve. The Greeks?
Yeah, the Greeks. In order for you to be a citizen of Greece, you had to, as a peasant, you had to serve in the military.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Greeks.
A lot of states.
I think you're specifically talking about Spartan and
Well, the cities,
Athens.
the Greek city states. It was.
Well, yeah,
And every man fought. And depending on how much money you had, if you were just a peasant in the field, well, you just had enough for your spear, whatever, and you were that level. And if you were a wealthier guy, you bought your own stuff too. You got to pay for your own armor, your own horse, whatever, if you were a horseman. But yeah, every person, because that's what a citizen was. It was your city, and you fought for it, and you voted in it. And if you didn't do all those things, you weren't a citizen. If you didn't fight, they wouldn't they wouldn't even talk to you. They'd probably throw you out of the city.
But
Socrates was quite the warrior, they say.
Well, whenever I first watched Starship Troopers, that's where I got curious about that. So I did some research on it, and because I didn't know that that's like 80% of the Greek population were all slaves. That blew my mind away. And then
In Lacedaemon, the Helots were like a whole race of slaves that the Spartans ruled over.
Mhm.
At least that was the way they always framed themselves. I mean, they'd been there for like 800 years. We are foreign invaders. We must constantly keep our boot on the neck of the servile population, kind of thing.
Mhm.
I don't know what the Helots thought of it. They probably didn't think much of it.
Well, I don't even know if they're still around.
No, I don't think any of those guys.
I
I knew a guy that was from Sparta. I knew a Spartan. But I mean, he's just a regular Greek painter, where he painted bridges and things like that.
Now, whenever like slaves, the story behind becoming a citizen as a slave, there's a general who actually did that. I believe he was a slave and he served in the military. I think it was Maximilian.
Oh,
Not quite sure. I think Maximilian actually, because he was a general. He rose to being a general, and then eventually, I think he married a noblewoman.
well, there was a lot of social mobility in the ancient world, and slavery wasn't like a race-based chattel slavery kind of thing. If your city was captured, and that enemy general needed money, he'd just sell the whole population. And if you had wealthy relatives, maybe you could get your way bought out. But I did hear a really cool story once about Philip II of Macedon, who had conquered a city, and he was leading all the men out to be sold as slaves, and which they don't really want to do. So he's there. You know how the Greeks dressed. We've all seen the paintings. They all just wore bed sheets, basically, tunics, whatever. And Philip, this is the famous Philip of Macedon, the great conqueror. He's sitting there on this stone watching them march out all the slaves. Well, his basically it's the equivalent of having your fly open. His robes were disarranged. So yeah, it'd be like if today a guy was standing there with his fly open. So all these guys are marching. Nobody's saying a word because it's the king. This one guy's going by and he goes, "Philip, free me! I knew your father. Bring that man to me." The guy comes up to him and says, "Dude, your fly's open." "Oh, thanks. Free this man. He knew my father." And then let the guy go.
Yeah.
You know what gets me about that though? People talk like that when it comes to that time period, but I've actually done research on this shit. Like they can behave like that in public, but then they go into a bathroom where toilets are sitting side by side and they have conversations. They didn't believe in personal space in toilets.
Their toilet systems. If you think about these toilet systems they had, I mean, for us, they would have been horrifying. I was reading a couple of very interesting papers on ancient Roman sewers and the ancient Romans, and they framed aqueducts and they had toilets, and they were like you were saying, Raj. They had public open. You just sat there and chatted with your buddies, and you cleaned yourself with a sponge soaked in vinegar. That little stream going by in front, you just like kind of washed the stick off a little bit from the last guy. And so it was like
Give each other a high five.
When they now these sewers, they were sitting on these little seats, and it was just like a big pit, and it was like a long like sewer pipe. It didn't always have water going through it. Just when like it was flooding and stuff, and it wasn't always full, and things didn't get flushed very well. So we're talking about probably miles of these huge tunnels under the city. Any place they came up, I mean, there was no stink trap or anything, so the smell coming out of these toilets was amazing. Rats lived down there. Sometimes mephitic gases would explode. The rats would panic and come pouring up through the toilet. That's why people didn't have private toilets for the most part in ancient Rome. They were horrible. Nothing at all like we have.
Just horribly.
It's like the underworld. Late at night, you hear these rumblings down there, the rats screaming and stuff. Going to the bathroom. I think I'm just going to go by the tree. Thank you.
Well, Rome, okay, everybody makes it out like how great Rome was, but if you pay attention to what a lot of these archaeologists are telling you, it was a horrible freaking stenchy city, dude. It stunk.
Yeah.
People were constantly fighting, bickering, and arguing, and murders on the streets all the time. They hated each other.
Disease.
You couldn't let your women walk out alone. It's like today, women are always talking and all this crazy stuff about how you're being too much like a masculine man. But men had to do that at one point because you couldn't let women walk the streets alone. You know what I mean? So your big brother had to go with you and make sure you were safe.
I find that women tend to like masculine men, I think.
Well, it depends on the ones you talk to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know what you mean, though. They've got that whole feminization of our society, somebody was calling it. Toxic masculinity and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Until somebody needs to take the lid off a pickle jar. Oh, you might have to censor that remark. YouTube and all.
Well, there's also women who's been in bad relationships, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like they don't think that they don't have any use for a man or anything like that. So
I can't blame someone who's had a bad experience, and certainly there are very terrible men out there. They're terrible people. There are terrible people who do terrible things to other people.
I love women. Don't get me wrong either. I'm just bringing it up because. Like women and men have a function, you know what I mean? It's like, and no matter how much you deny it, it's the truth. Like for ever, thousands of years, men have always been there to protect their women. It doesn't matter if it's their sister or if there's their mom or it's their wife or girlfriend. That's what they've done.
Well, I think it's an instinct. Because it's simply the way humans reproduce, and I've gone on about it before. Reproduction, that's part of us. We exist in time and space. I don't think we have individual immortality, but we have biological immortality or something close to it. And we have an instinct to protect. You guys all know the Birkenhead drill, the famous. The first time it happened when the Birkenhead, the ship hit it was a transport, hit a rock, and the lifeboat was washed away, or they had one lifeboat, I think that was it, or something like that, and the call went out, all the men came up on deck, stood at attention, and the cry was given, women and children first, and that was the first time that was done, and the women and children were loaded into the ship. Some of the men, eventually, the captain gave the order, all right, swim for it if you can. A few of the guys made it. But I was thinking about that, and that's instinctive. I would be helping the women onto the boat because that's what I would. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't be happy about it. But when I
Well,
think about that situation, I'm naturally going to want to protect the women and children. It's like, get on that damn boat.
yeah.
We'll be all right.
That
That's what it
and
says. We'll be all right. You guys go ahead.
yeah, and you would want someone to do that for your sister or your mother or
Yeah,
your kids.
yeah, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
when you bring that up, people just don't can't grasp at the idea of that words being used and the meaning of them words. Because they say, "Well, yeah, I understand," but no, do they really understand
Yeah.
that? You know, you as a person, why would you, knowing that your friend's getting beat up by her husband or her boyfriend, when you know that one day that could be your sister or your mom that someone does that to, and how you're going to appreciate if someone stand by and watched when your mom or your sister getting beat up by a perk guy. You know, you're not going to be a very happy camper at either one.
No, you don't, and you don't want to tolerate that behavior.
Yeah.
You know, but
And
it's interesting how ingrained that is in us too. Because you know, you just don't want that to happen, not to your role, not to any woman.
you know,
It's just wrong. At least I hope people feel that it's wrong.
yeah, and my sister and well, my sisters got mad at me because they finally told me to shut up, drop it. But I was calmly to this guy, yeah, I bet they had told you about what I would do to someone who comes up and starts disrespecting my nieces. They look at me, Melissa looks and says, "What do you, Uncle Robert?" I said, "No, no, no, no. I just figure letting that guy know." I said, three things really will set me apart really bad. If I heard someone say that someone called my niece a certain foul word that makes her out to be something that she's not, okay, knowing that it's not true, but the person sitting there running off, just, you know,
Right,
making her out to be something that she's not.
right. You don't
Or,
bandy a woman's name. You don't bandy a woman's name.
yeah.
You don't do that. Yeah, that's
And then
wrong.
when you start saying, okay, and when you hit someone, and I said, well, like if you hit my niece, regardless what my sister or my brother-in-law would say, I would want to go and talk to you. And I said, my type of talking is I would want to slap you around with your own arm after I rip your arm off and slap you around with it. And then I would ask you a simple question. It depends on how you answer that question. And they said, what would that be? I would ask you, how does it hurt? And if the person says it hurts bad, I would slap him more with his own arm because he should have been man enough to say it felt good. Because if he don't have the hesitation of doing that to my knees, beating up on my knees, thinking that oh she's not feeling nothing, you know, then I could do that to him and he shouldn't feel nothing as well.
Yeah, although that's pretty elaborate.
You know,
I can see
but
why your niece might be like,
yeah, but they understood point blank. I said, well, no, if a person goes to that extreme, okay, I'm going to be extreme as well with that person in my
right,
own special way.
right.
And I believe in letting them know beforehand that what will happen if anyone goes to that point. I got in a few fights with a few guys that sat there and said that's about my sister. And I just, well, I found out she got good with him too because she had his blood all over her shirt. But
Whoa,
yeah, I smacked him in the back of the neck. All you heard was his neck pop. And but the thing of it is, I just don't believe in that. You
I
know, I mean,
remember. I used to know
I,
this
yeah,
Scottish couple. You're reminding me of. They were like always fighting, really fighting. Like they would throw stuff at each other,
Mm-hmm.
like big, heavy things, like marble bookends and lamps and furniture, chairs.
Mm.
And I remember the Scotch woman comes up and says, "Look what that beast did to me." I can't do a Scotch. "Look what that beast did to me." And she's got like this bruise on her arm. Like, "That beast, he did that." And then he comes in. He's got this huge black eye. "Look what she did to me! 3 stitches." And they were together like I think like 30 years or something at that time. The way they related, they would like throw stuff at each. I don't think they even struck it. They would just throw stuff at each other across the room and bounce stuff off each other's heads. And it was really weird. And like we were really scared. Like, oh my god, what are these people? But it's like, no, that's just how they, they can afford to replace all the broken lamps. I guess I don't know. But yeah, furniture. Yeah. I thought, whoa. I mean, I could see throwing an egg at someone, but
yeah. But like a lot of people, they don't stop and think. It's one thing breaking furniture, okay, but when it goes beyond where then when you add the mental and physical, where blood coming from it, or it's gotten to
the point that's
where
crazy.
Where when you want someone dead, that's when you gotta look and say, back off, walk off, never come back. Just ain't
no, they just that's how they I don't think they ever wanted to kill each other, but they just maybe it's because they were Scottish. I don't know, but they were very. But we were talking about these deep feelings that we have, and sometimes they do come out. And you're right, Robert. Anytime violence itself is not usually a good answer because violence doesn't end with more violence. It ends with the ending of violence.
Well,
now there was a pirate I knew called I didn't know him, but I've gone on about him before. He's kind of a model for Captain Otto, and that was Captain Blackbeard. If you remember Blackbeard the pirate.
Yeah.
And he was famous, and he'd show up, and people would just soil their pants and drop their flags and give him whatever he wanted. When you look at his record, he never killed a single person. He never killed a single person until the very end when the Royal Navy caught up with him, and I think he took like 20 bullets to kill the guy. And he had a big sword fight. It was really make a great movie. On the other hand, I do recall that the only account that survived was that of the young officer who actually led the expedition. So this was the British report. "Oh, we fought heroically for hours." Shot him in his sleep. I don't know. Yeah, but he never hurt because he scared him. He just scared him. That's all he had to do. He had just a reputation. He never hurt any. Oh, I think he hurt people. He probably slapped people around and come out and shoot holes in the sails and things and yell at people. But he never killed anyone.
Yeah, but he was smart enough to figure out if you want to get your point across to all branches of all type of government and people, you use fear. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And it's like with the Norwegians, what they would do is, but if they want people, they would get themselves riled up where they're ready to massacre everything. But what they would do as well is the paddles that they would use, that big board that sets up in the middle of the boat.
Yeah.
They would run on the paddles going around the boat, and at the top of it, they hop off the paddles onto the boat, then back onto the paddle, and keep on running. The military would see this, thinking that these guys are unsupernatural. They have the ability of running over water.
Right.
They literally play mind games with them, which called psychologically manipulate.
Psychological warfare. Yeah.
They would do that with the people. That's what they did in Canada, in Mexico, the UK.
They had an ancient battle. I forget where it was. I think it was ancient Greece, and these cities were fighting, and the one army attacked the other during the night. There was like a moon out, and so they could identify each other. They covered each other with powdered gypsum. So they were covering yourself with top. So they're all white and gleaming in the moonlight. And the enemy soldiers are just there, they got their little pickets out and stuff. And suddenly they see hundreds of these white figures rushing across the field at them. They just screamed and ran. They had no idea. I would have loved to get a time machine just to film that. That must have been amazing.
Because that's my point. People, they do that stuff, and it's like I told one female, me and her were seeing one another. She asked me about me hitting her. I said, well, you know what? Before that happens, for me to hit you, I'm going to just walk off because I'm not going to hit you. But then look at what would happen to me as a person. Okay, if I don't believe in hitting a female over stupidity, I'm not. I don't want anything to do with a woman.
Right.
You
If
know.
you're bad enough to feel that way, then you don't need to be with her at all.
Yeah, and that's not that. And like I said, no, if you're 7 foot tall, you built like a quarterback, and you come up and start beating up on me, I'm not going to let you just beat up on me. I'm going to try to offend myself from you.
Yeah,
But
best you can.
yeah, but I'm not going to sit there and just start beating up on you. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just not that
See,
way. That would.
now Robert's getting into the hillbilly talk.
Oh no, to me, to me,
Yeah. Next thing you know, he's going to be talking about tree stumps.
This
Aye.
is great for Mark
Okay,
to
yeah.
study American lifestyles, culture, and folkways.
Yeah.
This is real America when you talk to us guys over here.
This is what Americans used to talk about back in the 1970s, dude.
Okay.
Seriously, it's
Oh,
like
1870s. What are you talking?
Oh, yeah.
1870s.
1870s too. Like Robert's getting
Oh,
he's getting real hillbilly on you, believe it or not.
well, I just look at it like I said.
See, I shouldn't. I
when-
should have never brought a conversation up about how boys should treat girls, because like it just Robert gets really sensitive about that.
Yeah.
Did I tell you my story of my costa chondroitis? I'm sure I did. Right, tore all the ligaments and or the connective tissue in my chest, so I couldn't like pick up anything. I couldn't open doors. I had to hold my arms up against me for like it was years before I had any kind of semblance of strength. So for like better than like 2 years, I couldn't carry anything heavy. And so I'd go to the store with my wife, and she would like have to push the cart and carry the bags out of the store and open the door for me. And I thought I was this, completely postmodern, not sexist at all kind of guy. And I was embarrassed and felt really bad that my wife had to carry things and that I couldn't open the door for her. And stuff that I hadn't even thought about, which I'm sure I just did unconsciously for, 30 years now. But it was kind of an eye-opening moment for me that I really felt bad that I couldn't do all these, toxic masculine kind of activities, like, holding a door for a woman or taking a heavy package out of her hand or something like that. I see my wife carrying something out of the car, I rushed right over, let me get that. I don't even think about it. And not being able to do it really disturbed me. I mean, I felt really, really disturbed. I got a little depressed over it for a while, but I got better.
Oh, it's like I went going out of the store, and a young guy and an older guy comes into the store. I opened the door for the guy. He says, thank you. I said, thank you, sir. And the young guy asked him, why did he call you sir for? He says, back in the 1920s, that's what young people used to do for older folk people.
That's right.
And the young guy never quite understood that, the whole concept of that. It's like gone.
That's the concept we need to bring back. Oh, another concept. It's getting on in the hour, gentlemen. I was wondering if I could turn once more to my old friend Roger and see if he might have a script that the four of us could do. 'Cause I don't think V's going to show up at this point. And Bob would like us to have a script. He really would.
Yeah, I am doing it right now. I figured
Excellent.
I would go ahead and push the Dell story.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Sounds very groovy. I like that. I like that whole concept.
Dell Swamp, and we're going to need somebody to play the narrator, and of course, we'll have Robert do the sound of Robert, the Hound from Hell. But do you want to be the narrator, Otto?
Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
Okay. Now you still have a part too, so I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I don't know how much of a part you got. I'm still.
Oh, I can switch voices. Arr.
See, that's what I wanted to do originally. I wanted to do it where it was. I was going to wanted to call it Bob Dub's bedtime stories,
Ah.
Okay.
and your pirate character tells freaking bedtime stories to the cat.
Arr.
And he's a really weird cat because he wants to hear scary stories about a horrifying 3-headed dog from hell.
Arr.
You know, so
I know me a good pirate story. Arr.
I'll call it Dell and the Hounds from Hell. All right, and the Hound from Hell. Now this one is him going to Talladega too, by the way. You know what Talladega?
Talladega.
Yeah,
There's a raceway there.
Mm-hmm. So this gets a little bit rednecky.
My out in the driveway, my wife's car is a Talladega 900 SE. They only did that 2 years. They took 300 or I forget how many. I think it was 10 models at random, and they ran them for 100,000 kilometers nonstop without any breakdowns. At Talladega. So on the back of the car it says Talladega. All right, we got a script. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's see here. Let me pull it up. I haven't had a chance to read it. I was just in the process of
That's the gnome. Yeah, very good.
we're winging this tonight, so
We have good wings.
so Del Swamp. Actually, it did. It recognized it as episode 2.
Good.
That's cool. So that means it goes along with the first one.
Cool.
I actually don't know where I got that story. I think I had it on here. Yeah, I did. I downloaded it. I think. Episode 2, Robert broke the chain. There it is.
Ooh. A horror comedy audio drama. Alrighty.
I was going to say this is extremely long, but it's not. It's all the spaces. It's just the formatting of it that makes it.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, we'll be here till tomorrow. But no, it's not that long.
See, I usually take time to move the spaces out and everything, but
Oh, this is fine. And
Yeah, readable.
lots of nice spots for like sound effects and fast southern rock metal theme.
now remember that when Robert does the barking and whining and growling and all that, you have to point it out so that he can say it, do it.
Okay.
Robert, you got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who? That's O.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
he'll be the one telling the story, and then we'll come in. Me and Mark will come in and him and then do our parts. But when you hear that, like Robert is supposed to growl, you have to growl, or if you have to whine, stuff.
So I'll read those effects out loud.
Right.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Are we ready?
I'm never ready. Ever.
Ever ready.
Ever.
Awesome Wells. All right. Awesome. Do it. Give us the countdown.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, now.
Thunder, crickets, distant screams from hell. A dog howls somewhere in the distance.
Arr!
5 miles, exactly 5 miles from the gates of hell sits the last place anyone would ever expect to find peace. Dale's Swamp Shack. A crooked shack. Cold beer. One living gnome. And the biggest problem in 3 dimensions. A 3-headed hellhound named Robert.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Cool beer. NASCAR starts tomorrow. Life don't get much better than this.
The portal opens.
Well, look what the apocalypse dragged in.
I think Mark
Morning.
read
Yeah.
it down?
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
okay, yeah, I was just about to indulge it since
Okay,
jumping
sorry.
straight away.
Sorry.
No
Just,
worries.
I'm muting myself. I'm just about to. Anyway, morning, Dale.
Well, look what the apocalypse dragged in. Morning, Death.
I have got another cosmic council meeting. Need someone to watch robots.
Robert pants happily.
That's not panting.
That works.
His 3 tails were wagging.
How long, Mark? Only a few days, or Death? Only a few days? Oh, wait, hold up. Let me start over. How long?
My line. Only a few days. So, okay. Only a few days, assuming nobody starts another apocalypse.
Last time you said that, I spent 3 weeks chasing Robert through purgatory.
He was excited.
He ate an angel.
But the angel survived, mostly.
Seth produces an envelope.
I brought compensation.
Compensation?
The envelope opens.
No, this ain't no way. There ain't no way. Season tickets. Every NASCAR race. Front stretch.
Deal?
Deal.
Robert barks excitedly. This ain't gonna end well. The portal closes. Death disappeared, leaving Robert and his newest chain, forged from the heart of a dying star, supposedly unbreakable.
Now, Robert, I gotta head to Talladega. You stay. Understand?
Robert gives 3 happy barks.
Good boy.
The pickup truck starts. Dale drove away. The swamp became quiet for exactly 6 seconds. Robert sniffs. Then Robert smelled barbecue, chicken, turkey legs, thousands upon thousands of bones. Robert whines excitedly. Uh-oh, he caught the scent. The massive chain stretches. Clink, clink, clink. Robert, don't you? Crack! The chain exploded, and there were 3 enormous barks. Dale, Robert's loose. again. Meanwhile, Talladega. Engines roared. Fans cheered. Barbecue smoked. And Dale couldn't have been happier.
Best seats I ever.
As the crowd screams, we hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, we appear to have a three-headed dog in turn 3.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
As Robert happily chases the fans, they realize that Robert wasn't attacking anyone. He simply wanted every chicken bone, every rib bone, every turkey leg, every hot dog, everywhere. Move, move, move. He's after the barbecue.
Robert.
Robert happily runs towards Dale.
Good. Come here.
Robert runs past Dale.
He ain't coming.
Chaos erupted. Security, police, golf carts, helicopters. Nobody knew what to do. I got a plan.
Please tell me it's a good one.
It depends. How many ribs can you buy? Working together at a massive pile of barbecue, Dale and Gus built the world's largest dog treat.
Think it'll work?
He's still a dog. Just a real unfortunate one. Robert begins happily following the food trail.
It's working. It's actually...
Oh, the mascot appears carrying a giant foam bone. No!
No!
Don't look at... Robert sees the foam bone. 3 gigantic barks.
Oh, hell.
As race cars screamed past, Robert charged onto the racetrack. One head chased the mascot. One chased barbecue. One simply enjoyed hearing the crowd cheer.
Hold still.
Dale jumps onto Robert. Almost got the chain. Almost. Robert begins wagging.
He thinks we're playing.
Hours later, back at the swamp, Robert once again rested peacefully beside the shack as the chains... excuse me. Pardon me. Robert once again rested peacefully beside the shack. Escape number 488.
Just buying a stronger chain. I ain't doing this again.
As the portal opens,
So, everything go all right?
Look around.
Robert happily drops a giant dinosaur bone at Death's feet.
Oh, he's my good boy.
3 happy barks. Don't encourage him.
Next weekend, I'm hiding the race schedule.
Good idea.
Robert's ears perk up at the distant sound of race engines. Too late! As Robert snaps the brand new chain. Crack!
Oh, come on.
And so, once again, Dale, Gus, and the world's largest puppy disappeared into another completely avoidable disaster. After all, when you live 5 miles from hell, normal isn't an option. Join us next time for another adventure in Dale's Swamp. 3 happy howls echo into the distance. Well done. That was great. Hooray.
That was
That was a good
interesting.
one.
That was
Hey.
interesting.
That was good. That was good.
I even created pictures for that.
Oh, good. No, there's nothing quite like that on the internet anywhere. That's really unique.
That was actually pretty decent. I was surprised.
You know what you could do next time? Set it up where they'll get hit by one of the fireballs from
No,
Swamp Land.
he breaks the chain.
No. Dell, I'm talking about. They'll get hit by one of them swamp gas balls.
Oh, not the swamp gas ball.
Not the swamp gas balls, man. Not the swamp gas balls.
Can't handle the swamp gas ball. That was good. There's a lot of good further adventures in store, I'm sure.
Mm.
But, a lot of good possibilities for that. A lot of good possibilities.
Robert had an idea about dragons since Mike and Bob Dub are real big on dragons. There's something I want to incorporate. It's a sort of dragon that's in D&D where what it is they like dragons like to draugrs. Okay, draugrs have like sold their soul to like a crystal, magic crystal, and they stay like immortal.
Wow.
And it's a dragon, but the thing of it is they're usually in a dragon graveyard,
right,
full of dragon bones.
Mm-hmm.
And this dog figures out that he can get
Oh,
these bones at this graveyard. So he breaks the chain and goes to it, and then Gus and freaking Dale have to chase after him to try to get him back.
Oh wow! And deal with the dragon.
Deal with these dragon zombies. Actually, is what they are.
Oh, nice.
I'll get the terminology later for it, but it's just a thought.
I didn't do a whole lot with D&D, and it was a long time ago.
It was pretty good. So.
Like early 80s, late 70s, early 80s or something. I'm sure it's changed quite a bit since then.
Mm-hmm. So,
well, gentlemen, I would love to stay and go on to the next show, whatever it is, but I hate to say it, I have to work in the morning, which I don't look forward to, especially since we've had like amazingly bad atmospheric conditions. But we've got this little old lady that works there, and she's got asthma, and she refused to go home today, so I couldn't do it. Because, of course, I'm being a big, strong man, and that's how the male ego works. You know, if these girls are staying, I'm not going to leave them to do the work in this horrible, horrible atmosphere. It's not that bad, really. It's sort of like working near a campfire all day.
You were saying about the fire. How far is it? I mean, how far is it up in Canada that fire is?
I wasn't looking. I don't know the names of all their provinces up there. But it's like it's to the west and where was it?
I did see it earlier, but I can't remember where I saw it now.
Saskatchewan or something.
No. Just northeast and mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, but the smoke, they were saying Detroit, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And last 3 days, I was out on the road Tuesday. It was also like a very hot day. And it was so dark, like a very thick cloud cover up. You could look you couldn't tell where the sun was. It was that dim. And then the next day, it was orange. I was thinking of the Mount St. Helena eruption. Do you guys remember that, where there was like all that colorful sky and stuff? It was kind of like that. The morning started orange, kind of turned kind of yellowish orange, and then got deep orange again. And then today, you could see the clouds of smoke just being. It got very windy, interestingly enough. So we didn't get the atmospheric colors, but it was just, you could feel it in your lungs. It was very heavy. So it's supposed to clear up tomorrow night, though. So we'll play it by ear.
It's so messed up.
Yeah, they just need to do good forest management. That's the crazy thing. You know, I live in a forest that's been here, it's been managed for like, I don't know, 150 years or something. It takes up like 1/5 of the state, and I never recall us having any kind of a major forest fire here, because they take very good care of the park. It's actually a very unique kind of a setup. It's a state park, but people live in it as well.
Hmm.
So they're actually towns and communities and stuff in the park, but they're also part of the park. So they have a park agency that kind of manages everything. So you're allowed to live there, but everything has to be done in such a way that the quality of the park is preserved. And some areas are reserved as wilderness areas where there's no building allowed. But it's all public land. You can go hiking, camping, fishing, whatever. Um, yeah, but yeah, fires? No, I don't recall ever even hearing of a major forest fire. I mean, forest fires obviously once in a while, but nothing like this. This is insane up there.
Looks like it starts in Ontario, just outside Toronto, somewhere.
I know for me, man, when I seen that, I was like, that is outrageous. It was the first time I've seen that the effects of what it's doing up there, but like the actual breathing conditions is getting out of hand up there in Maine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
They had a few families have bad case of that. They were affected by it. They had to go to the hospital over it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was palpable here. I'm sure people with really bad lungs were in bad shape. I know I saw one person got taken off by an ambulance yesterday, but I don't know if it was related to that or not. But across the way, I did see an ambulance. But I'm babbling, my friends, and I hate to do it, but I really got to go. I would much rather sit here and chit chat for another hour or so. We've had a really good conversation tonight,
oh yeah,
but I'm going to officially end the quantum gathering, and we'll do our traditional reading of the or recitation, I should say, the recitation of the socials, and we'll start with Mark Edworthy, the best dressed man on the internet, the Beau Brummel of the 21st century, Lord Edworthy himself. How can people get a hold of you, find out more of your work and your wisdom?
Yeah, minds.com, username Medworthy. The only
Excellent. Short
real
and sweet,
place.
as we always say. Nothing like it. And now the brothers Hanson. Roger, how can people contact you and Robert? They want to know more about your work and your wisdom.
you can find us on Elements at Rogers Hangout. You can also find us on the Infinite Imaginarium as well as Quantum Gathering on Element Matrix. Besides that, you can find me on minds.com at Roger_Hanson and on X, Roger Hanson at ROGLOL1973. You can find Robert with me on there as well. So there you go.
Excellent. And of course, you can check out my website, navakavada.org. That's NAVAKAVADA. It's spelled just like it sounds. Also, minds.com, username Otto_X. That's EX. Also, you can probably find me at Rogers Hangout, and sometimes down at the corner. But yeah, you'll find me in various and sundry platforms. But those are the main ways to contact me. So thanks again, everyone, for being here. I thought we had a very, very interesting discussion tonight. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week. And to all of our listeners, viewers, whatnot, thanks very much for tuning in. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, leave us even onto an emoji. And we will get back to you within the year, provided that your comments are tasteful and in keeping with the YouTube community standards. Thank you all, and good night, Lady to Wessex, wherever you are. I think that show went well.
Yeah, that
I
went
think
pretty good.
That was good. That was good.
You got that straightened out.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of possibilities in the future. This Dale arc has a lot of possibilities. I like your idea about Captain Otto telling stories, and
Yeah,
I
that
like the a lot of the, and we were even talking about doing a talk with Robert. He wanted me to talk about Buddhism.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a lot of stuff in the offing. I just can't wait till I'm not working anymore, so I'll have more time for
Yeah.
all of it.
Well, I got everything set up for growing together. If Bob Dub comes in, we'll have that set up. All I got to do is hit record. I was able to get questions set up for Column if he comes in, so
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
that's all set up. And it just everything kind of got confusing about the beginning,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
cool.
But
It all works out, and she had a good dry run, making sure she had everything she needed to go and everything. So I think it works out. These things work out. They often do. We look back over the years and realize that if this or that hadn't happened, which I thought was such a disaster at the time, I wouldn't be in this great situation I am now. So amor fati is what Nietzsche said. But I'm not going to start another discussion. I'm going to go to bed.
go to bed.
Oh, I got to get some sleep, man. I got to get up in the
These guys will keep you around forever if you let them.
Well, there's no place else to have these discussions except right here with this gang. It's
no,
it's a good group.
everybody just loves hearing you talk. That's what it is.
Well,
I like it how when you say where you're from and all that, like that radio guy on they found a job for him and all that in radio, and your voice sounds just like that. It's good.
I've thought about going into radio. I almost did. I was on the college radio station when I was in school, and a buddy of mine did go into radio, and the pay is so abysmal, or at least it was then. I had a job. I was working human services at the time. It's like, wow, I'm making $2 an hour more than this guy. I mean, yeah, he's on the radio and everything, but it's a really, unless you can luck into something good, it's generally not a very good paying field. So I kind of shied away from it, but now I'm thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into some professional reading or voice acting or something. Just now with the LLM voices, the AI voices, can a human voice compete?
Yeah.
Except in these really cool discussion podcasts like this. So, Robert, this might be my way forward. This might be my way forward. Oh, but gentlemen, I have to go. I really do. I'll keep talking. Have a great evening. Give my best to anybody else that shows up. So you're going to go over to the gardening show next? That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Bob was going to be back here soon to do the Callum talk. All right, cool. I look forward to checking that out.
We're presumably at the top of the hour, which means that I want to try and keep it down to 2 hours if possible, Roger.
So you guys can get some sleep.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Got something on in the afternoon tomorrow, so or today even. But yeah,
I'm not yawning at the discussion. I'm yawning at the exhaustion. I will talk with you, gentlemen. Hopefully tomorrow. I'll be in touch one way or another.
Okay.
And are you still doing the Minds Roundtable?
Yeah. Same time, same channel.
Now, tomorrow I am also going to my other job, dog sitting. So when I leave the day job, I'll be going down to Greenfield. So I'll probably be getting down there later and might be a little tied up, but I will try to stop in and say hello. And
Okay, remember tomorrow's the long one, so
all right, so you'll be up.
the long one today and yesterday, but yeah, tomorrow's the long one. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll be in touch one way or another. Gentlemen, have a great night. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
See you later. We've got 40 minutes or so.
Dude, I had to stop. Dude, I had to stop back in. I just glanced at the thumbnail on the screen for the live stream. I think Callum spells his name with the letter A, Callum.
Roger, I noticed this in the message earlier. He spelled it with COLLUM.
Oh, okay.
Hi. Where on this stream? Callum, I can't see his name.
I just saw it's got just on the image. It's not a big deal. You probably won't even look at it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, I'll get him to change that when he comes back then.
Yeah, it might be a good show.
Quite that easily enough.
Yeah, that's cool. These little details. I'm pretty sure it's an A. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
Well, we can ask.
Yeah. I mean, if you were going to spell the word Callum, how would you spell it?
I would spell it with an A, but
And actually, Bob has typed his name before in conversations we've had, and I'm pretty sure it was with an A.
okay.
All right, cool.
Okay, I'll mention that to Roger when he comes back in.
See, I just can't leave this place. I'm going back.
Go and get some sleep.
I'm going to go. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. Take it easy. Good night.
Night.
Hey, Roger, Robert, is anybody there?
Yeah, I was just about to disappear for 2 seconds. As you mentioned.
Oh, okay. I was just about to just leave you a message saying that everything's confirmed. We're getting the live stream set up so that we're going to be flying the drone down over the orchard, and it's going to be streaming live onto my YouTube channel, the Bob Dub channel.
Okay.
So we hope
Quick
that.
question.
Yes.
Quick question for you. I think Roger's spelled Colin's name incorrectly. It's
Yes.
CALLUM.
Yes.
He spelled with an O instead of an A.
Okay. Yep, it's an
Okay.
A. CALLUM. Okay, good. Thanks, Mark. Awesome. Yes.
Okay,
All right,
so
brilliant.
We're saying in 35 minutes or so.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to drive down to the back, and then once he's flown it, we'll be able to come back here or stay there, I don't know, and just chat about anything else that's of interest to anybody. So, cool. So it'll be a 2-part thing. So instead of doing the garden walk that Roger suggested, we're going to do a drone fly.
Oh, that's cool.
And then from there, the practical side, then go into the more technical questions that occur to you as you Anyway, yes,
What
I
did
don't
you-
need to say anything. I just wanted to say it's all confirmed. I'm here setting up the live stream. It's going to stream straight onto my Bob Dub channel,
Cool.
the drone flight.
Cool.
So you should be able to follow it there.
What
Okay.
Did you get to? Did you hear what I mentioned? You've got a spelling mistake in the title screen. Callum, an A, not an O.
Oh man, that's messed up. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you
Callum.
can change that easily enough. Yeah. I noticed that when you
Well,
messaged me earlier.
Actually, I wanted to do something real quick with this window capture. I have filters on to where the resolution isn't really all there. And I want to get full footage. I don't want that on there for this one. Now, when we're doing
Okay,
the show,
yeah.
that's fine. But this is actually a visual demonstration. You know what I mean? So I don't.
Yeah. So the entire screen's not necessary. It's just more clutter.
Yeah. Because and the weird part about that is I actually put that on there and I don't actually know how to get that taken off of there like that. Like, you know how your visual is like a ghost.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how I did that. It's really
Layers. Is it not like GIMP and Inkscape teach layers?
well. See, I thought that it was a filter, but it's not. And I've even checked the
You've
transforms.
got to play around with it anyway. So yeah, you've got 20 minutes to play around with it.
Now, what I can do is just drop the background image, do it
Yeah.
like that, and then later on I can fix the. Then later on I can fix the picture and set it in there where it shows the video with the picture over the top of it, or the video. You know what I mean? So I hope.
As I was saying a bit earlier, if possible, can we try to keep this to about 2 hours? If 2.5
It's
hours?
Oh gosh, I was going to think. I thought an hour. Do you
Yeah.
think two?
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I'm an old woman.
Maximum.
I can't.
Maximum. I was just thinking,
He's
seeing as we had a late night last night and we've got a late
Yeah,
night tomorrow, it's got to be,
Absolutely.
yeah. I
I
don't
mean,
see
you realize,
got
like,
going
we've
again.
been doing an Earth for an hour for
Yeah.
a reason, right? Like,
Yeah, that's cool. That's
like-
cool. I know
Yeah.
we got old people
Okay.
here, man. What we-
Old people. very old people. Post cancer and all sorts of horrible things.
we're talking about
Okay,
we're talking about gardens and shit. You know what I mean?
so his company's name is Meatrix,
Okay.
and what he's building is an orchard management system.
Okay.
And this drone technology is one part of it, and then the app that he's built to deal with the photos. But like he would if you really enjoy it and after an hour we've got more to say, he would probably be prepared to come back.
Oh, cool.
So let's go for an hour,
Okay.
just so it's not too overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right? And then just wrap it up and whatever. And I won't be really there, right? I'll just be there as the introduction and then filming.
Well, I mean, you can be there if you
So-
want to. You don't have to be singling
I'll
yourself
join-
out.
Yes.
You know what I
But
mean?
but I have got nothing to say at this level. I
Well-
mean, what I mean is, I genuinely don't know most of the time what on earth is going on with this stuff.
Well,
The words even are beyond my poor little brain.
we've already tamed Robert down on this one, so we've got that taken care of where he's not going to be a wild man, you know what I mean? So it's like he's going to have to sit in the background too. So I mean, it's not a big deal. It's
So I'll exit out of this meeting, and then I will, when we're down the back with the drone, I'll join you on my cell phone meeting,
Okay.
and then I'll be sending you to Ye Old Quantum Gathering. I'll be sending my cell phone footage, and you'll be watching drone footage on Bob Dub channel on
Okay.
YouTube.
So I need to have this synced up with the YouTube channel then.
You just need to have the YouTube channel playing
Right.
and screen share to here.
So let me get onto YouTube. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
get on YouTube. And now that's going to be on your channel on YouTube, right?
My Bob Dub channel on YouTube.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm on Bob Dub's channel.
Mhm.
And when you start doing it, I'll be
Okay.
able to do the live.
All right. So what's going to happen is that I've set it up here, but it will be started from the drone. So that's why I'll be with you on the cell phone to say, okay, it's going to start happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. I think I've got it. I hope I can pull this off, Roger.
I hope I've
Oh
got
well,
it.
you and I together somehow we always do. We always do.
We'll get this going. Now I have I don't want to use the browser one. What I'm going to do is a window capture for it,
Okay.
and we'll do the window
Right.
capture, and the audio for the conversation will still come in, but we'll get
Nice.
the audio capture,
Yes. Yes.
because if I
Excellent.
use a browser, things get complicated when it
Yeah.
comes to like the audio.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
well, I guess I could do it, but I would have to do it right then and there, you know what I'm saying? Because when you start your live stream, I'm going to need that URL, and then I can just mute the audio out on that.
Yes.
But I don't know, we'll see.
Excellent. Very, very good. All right. I think goodbye. I think I'll see you in 28 minutes time.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. And I'm going to put the music on that I made for the show that I showed to you until then, so that everybody can
I
hear.
remixed where forgiveness dies. I love it.
That's
I haven't
cool.
published it yet, but it's very good. Thank you for that. Great, great song.
Oh, hey Bob. Thank you for that information about where you're from, the video and all that. I was wanting to add that into tonight too, because at the beginning of the spring, the trees, the process of the trees, how they go.
Well, this is an interview. This isn't like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, the next week we can do that, because I think that would actually be a good idea.
I would
Especially
love that.
when,
Baobabs. Yes.
and Robert was talking too about like the freaking fauna and everything, and like I was telling him, like, where you're from, Zimbabwe or Rhodesia, it's when you watch movies about the safari and everything, that's where they're showing usually.
Yes.
And I was telling him about the zebra picture that you showed. I was like, that was
Yes. No.
how big their head is. My God.
Giraffe.
Yeah, giraffe. Sorry, I said
Giraffe.
zebra. Sorry.
Okay, I've got to go. We've got to go and do a test flight and see if we actually can join to the live stream, because this is all planning stages right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right. See you later. Thank you. See you, Robert.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, we'll get this up and going. I'm gonna put music on for people to listen to while we chat, and that way. I don't even know where the heck I put that stuff. I have it on my thing, but I forgot the name of it too.
Nice and organised.
I've got like my music is very disorganized and everything. Like I've got a song for Robert Broke the Chain,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
Actually, that would probably be suitable for this show right here, since we just did it. Let me go ahead and put Robert Broke the Chain in so that we can get something started, and we'll move into the next song after that once this is done. So I'm gonna mute everybody out on the stream, and we'll get the song going. So.
Morning breaks across the hillside, silver dew on emerald vines. Every roll has earned a story, written out through patient time. Footsteps winding through the orchard, every branch has found its place. Hands that build with hope and purpose, leaving beauty in their wake. Different skies, a different season, yet the earth still speaks the same. Every garden holds a promise, every grower knows its name. Come and walk the land with us, where the orchards meet the sky. From the buzzing of the honeybees to the mountains standing high. Across the world we're growing stronger, sharing lessons every day. One small garden, one big family, nature always finds a way. Kiwi vines beneath the sunshine, busy wings from bloom to bloom. Every flower feeds tomorrow, every harvest starts in June. There's a rhythm in the seasons, one no clock could ever keep. Patient hearts and steady hands know nature's promises run deep. Every fence line tells a story, every pathway leads to more. Across the oceans we discover what we're all still growing for. Come and walk the land with us, take the journey side by side. Every orchard, every garden, every place where dreams reside. From New Zealand to our backyards, every sunrise starts anew. We're growing hope, one seed at a time, and the next one starts with you. Morning breaks across the hillside, silver dew on emerald vines. Morning sun across the fields, turning frost to living green. Tiny seeds beneath the soil, dreaming things we've never seen.
Hands that weather every season,
Learning more with every year.
every blossom tells a story.
Every harvest starts right here. Watch the moon, watch the rain. Life is written in the grain. From the roots beneath our feet, every ending starts a seed. We're growing together, one season at a time. From backyard gardens to the oldest orchard vine. Across the oceans, under different skies, nature speaks the same in every sunrise.
growing together,
Sharing what we know. From the bees that hum to the rivers that flow. Every hand can help another grow. One small seed is all we need to sow. Some are planting in the spring, others prune through winter's chill. Different seasons, common purpose, working with the land we till.
stories travel farther now.
Across the valleys and the sea, every garden has a lesson. Every flower holds a memory. Listen close, the wind remembers, the birds return when seasons change. The earth keeps turning without hurry, teaching us to do the same.
We're growing together from dawn until the stars,
Sharing every triumph, every weathered scar. Across the world, our gardens bloom, bringing hope to every room. Growing together, one family beneath the sun. Every season brings another journey just begun. The roots run deep, the branches climb above, growing together with patience, earth, and love.
$2 per 50 grams.
Okay, so I've got everything back up on the screen share, so and the mic and everything's up. The songs have already played. I let the second one overrun a couple of seconds. I apologize to anybody who caught that, but everything's back up.
You've still got 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but we're still live streaming, so
Oh.
you know, anybody who,
Well,
if anybody's watching, I still got to be conscientious of them.
so like for a 20-pound
That's
bag,
right. As long as you didn't record what we were just talking about.
The tobacco stuff, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
That's not that was the part where the whole music was playing while we were having the discussion. So
so that's what I was asking for, because here, for a pack of cigarettes, I couldn't believe that. I'm referring to, because that's why I was asking the UK price to what US pays
When it
for
comes to Are you talking about cigarettes or are you talking about rolling tobacco?
A regular pack of cigarettes.
I don't know what the price was cigarette. Actually, let me just check on some of the like Tesco sites.
Because for a carton, it's I think it's $120 for a carton.
Carton what of? How many in the carton?
20, no, 10.
Hey, 100
Yeah,
and
10.
what? What?
10,
Did you
10,
say?
10 packs of cigarettes in a carton.
Okay, that makes sense. Spell cigarettes. Investment. God, I need to fix the keyboard. Let's see, packs of 20. Okay, we're looking at prices roughly around 14 pounds. A pack of 100 Richmond Supercane, 73 pounds. 73 pounds 50. Or 5 packs of 20. You look now around 75, 76 pounds,
Okay.
which equates to 75. Roughly just over 100 US dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really surprised. I looked up the plant that they got there, what they're growing. There's male and female flowers there. The female is what produces the fruit. The male is the one that helps cultivate the female plant with the bees when
Okay.
they pollinate.
What plant?
I can't think of that fruit that they grow there at her place. Kiwi, I think.
Kiwi.
Kiwi.
Okay.
And it's got a male and female flower. And when you first grow it, you have to wait 6 years for it to mature. because I typed, I saw a kiwi plant, and I typed it up and all that, and with the bees, it explained on the video the process of it, and I'm like, dang, that's 6 years. You gotta wait for the plant to mature and grow and all that, and during that time, when after 6 years, the flowers comes up, and there's a male and female flower of the kiwi,
Yeah.
and the female plant is the only one that's going to produce fruit from it.
Hmm.
I was really surprised about that. They show on the thing that there's a slight difference in the two flowers. One's got more, well, the way on the picture, there's more of the things that the bees lands on inside the flower. The little yeah, I can't think, but
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I can just.
okay. And the male has less of them.
Mm.
And it takes 6 years for the plant to mature. I thought, man, that's quite a distance.
Mm.
Got screen share. Okay, I got everything set up and ready to go. Got the screen share going. I'm waiting for Bob Dub to do her live stream. So when she does that, I'll put that in the browser extension, and then you can interact with it. So I can go in there and actually turn the volume down on it so that it doesn't bleed through. Because if I don't, what'll end up happening is I'll start getting audio from that, and then it'll cause a loop.
Yeah.
This is going to be a complex situation. I knew today was going to get complicated. I just had this weird feeling when I couldn't contact Bob Dub. You know.
It may not necessarily be.
Well, see, I wanted to run it by her and you guys if we're going to do like the show before the quantum gathering or not. Which I'm fine because we didn't do it. You know what I mean? Because that means we can do it. We can have another.
Yeah, I was just sitting around, just waiting for you to come in.
Yeah.
That's why I messaged you when I did.
Now, on the bright side, the good side is I have created a freaking cool freaking cityscape.
I saw that. Teams.
Mm-hmm.
And you published 2 images just before.
Yeah,
well,
the second one is the one that the second one is the one that I actually published. So, or the one I just did today. So, let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. I can share it with you. Let you guys look at it. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it popped up or not on mine. Wait, I've got to.
Maybe.
Hold on a minute. I've got to unhide myself in settings so that it can show up.
Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
There we go. That's what I created right there. So it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna It's got that what do they call it? No, it's here I can pull up the terminology. It's a style of
Cubism.
architecture. It's
Utilitarian cubism. Cubism.
it's barbaric architecture.
Barbaric. Utilitarian. I think would be more appropriate.
I mean, that's like literally what they call it.
Well, that's one term I've never heard of architecture being called barbaric about.
It's now I've got to drop the screen share so that I can actually
Postmodernist.
get the term. Because I don't like that. I'm thinking I'm wrong about that too. So
Yeah. Postmodernist,
It's-
modernism, utilitarianism,
it's not
Soviet style, if you like.
It's not postmodernism. That's more like painting style.
I don't know. No, you can go postmodernist architecture.
Let's see here. I can pull it. Just let me do my stuff. I just got to remember where the hell I put it at. Oh, I can go in here to my scripts on Blender. I'm wanting to set up a website where I use Blender. I've been talking to Tan about it. Brutalist.
Slender, what's not?
It's brutalist architecture.
Yeah.
Brutalist. I like that even better than barbarian. It's brutalist. What do you think about that, Mark?
You still prefer utilitarianism.
It's called brutalist architecture.
Yeah, I still prefer the term utilitarianism.
Utilitarianism.
Mm.
Okay, Bob's here. There she is. Hello, Bob.
Hey,
Hey.
Oh,
just climbing into the truck to go down to the back of the orchard.
Okay. Let me know.
So,
Let me know when you start. Oh shit! She dropped. Okay, she probably just came in real quick to let us know.
Ah, she's back.
You look like
oh, I think I'm back.
There you are.
Yeah.
Now let me know. Let me know when you get ready to stream because I got that set up on YouTube too.
Okay, great. Right. And we're just going to take it down to a place that's a little bit away from the buildings. And Callum's got it set on an automatic course. So this is Callum. So here we go. This is, hi, Callum.
Hello, Cal.
how you doing?
So, yeah. So he's got it set up on an automatic route. So once it takes off, it's not really under his control. So, and then he can switch it back onto manual if he wants to bring it home, you know, before for whatever reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I love the scene.
So you can see how wet it's been, that the roads are full of water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We were just talking about that just before you guys came on, how weird the rain has been.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hear you've had a lot of dust as well.
Yeah, we've had dust, rain, flooding, the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
and hot temperatures too.
Huh. Yeah. It's quite amazing. I got a message from my dad saying for the first time in about 3 weeks, this is in southern South Africa, this is the southern coast of South Africa, said for the first time in about 2 weeks, the minimum temperatures are above 10 degrees, which is really, really weird for Africa. You don't really go down to 10 degrees in Africa.
10 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's Celsius.
Celsius.
Okay.
Celsius.
Yeah.
It's with us. We have the Fahrenheit.
52.
Alan says it's 52. 10 degrees is 52, apparently.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cold.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. I swear.
Isn't it amazing?
I still say, I mean, I don't understand why you guys aren't eating kiwi right now.
Well, look, there's none. That's why.
If I had that much kiwi, I would always have kiwi in my mouth. I mean,
You probably get sick of the kiwi after a while.
It's only ripe for about a week. It's only ripe for about a week. It's commercially grown. So they put chemicals on it to make all the flowers come at once, and they all.
she went. There's a
We've not
temporary loss of. I'm just saying a word so that it fills in the emptiness, because you know we know what's happening. We're losing the broadcast.
But we can't have it on the house all year. That's what my point is. All right. Now it's. Oh man, I'm not meant to be doing it upwards. Hey, am I meant to be doing it this way? No, not that way.
No.
This way.
The other way.
No, that's not it.
The in between.
This way.
Right there. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Okay, so I'll go back a little bit of a distance. Look at these beautiful trees. Aren't these beautiful?
Yes,
I'm
they
just
are.
so in love with them.
I can't see anything at this moment. Yeah, your camera's just been. Oh, that's better.
Okay, so that's the center on the ground, right?
It's the place, yeah, where it has to come back to.
Okay.
It's the helipad.
There you go. I see it.
Oops, I'm missing the unboxing.
Now, when you're going live stream, let me know and I'll have it ready to go.
Oh, right, live stream, yeah. It should be starting any minute now.
Okay.
He's just trying to press the buttons.
Oh no. There we go.
Oh, now I'm back.
Always those close
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah, horrible, hey? Okay. Okay, he says that there was a little outage on the Starlink.
That Starlink, it's something else, isn't it?
It's extraordinary. It's incredible. And it just works. It's not like you need a technician and you have to have monthly this rental fees and you have to have that and you have to have the next thing. It just comes in a box, you put it on the ground and it works.
Isn't a subscription fee for it?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Not sure. I'll have to look at the pricing for those.
There probably is, Mark. There probably is.
That'd be a good question to ask Colin if, you know, when he's
He says it should be live streaming now.
okay.
Is anything happening?
Let me go to YouTube real quick. It should be showing. There we go. We got the live stream.
Oh, yay.
And I'm
Excellent.
going to be setting this to full screen and dropping the chat that well, I don't have to, actually. Share this.
Okay, and that was it. It's real boring for me this side. Now nothing happens.
I have it set in.
Right. I don't know if there's too much there, if you can see it.
Mute that out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is excellent, man.
It's just doing that course there. That's where it is at the moment.
Talk a little bit louder so they can.
So, yeah, it's just going through its course at the moment. And that's what it would fly, but that would take far too long. So we're not going to do all of that. We'll just do a couple of bits and then we'll throw it up and have a look around.
It's interesting. I'm watching this. You handling your console there on this screen, but I'm also watching the YouTube version, which shows the actual pictures directly from the camera. Oh, it was.
Awesome. It's so cool.
It's very interesting, to be honest.
How come this is so hard?
Right. Enough of that one? Or you, right.
Have you had enough, or do you want to see some more, guys?
We'll see some more.
It's only
Man.
going to
See some more.
See as much as you
Well,
guys want to show.
No, it's fine. It's just it just goes up and down the rows, and you see exactly the same thing all the time. So, but I can just actually pause there.
Now that's actually a good. Part to where we can get started with a lot of it, because that's really what the purpose of what you're doing there is to count the kiwi, right?
No, that's not for counting it. That's for do various things with that. One is not at the moment because there's no leaves on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a multispectral camera which will do plant health and things like that. So at the moment, that's. Let's see, we'll go up a bit higher. But I also do it for what I call cane mapping, which is find all the canes that have fruited last year and say whether they can classify them into old wood and wood that's going to fruit this year.
I can go and show what it's like from the underneath, actually.
Yeah.
So you're looking at it from the top now, and I'll show you why it's so difficult to see from underneath. Okay, it's significantly more easy now, but you can see that, you know, you've really got to walk around crouching down and see one small portion at a time. You just don't get the distance to have the overview of the canopy.
Yeah, there we go.
Presumably, you are shooting in a relatively good resolution, so you can zoom in
Oh,
afterwards.
yeah. It shoots in 20 megapixel images.
Okay.
It's just for some reason we haven't played around with this enough, so live streaming is a bit messy. It's a bit low resolution.
It's actually, you're actually getting really good live stream, to be honest with you. I'm really surprised how smooth that's coming through.
Have a look around the world. The map. Ooh. It's probably about 5 seconds delayed, so.
Okay.
Okay. It's a quick look around. And I think there's probably enough drone footage for now. We just click the button and return to home.
Sounds good. That was
Yeah,
excellent.
Or we could just talk here.
Well, we'll bring out the app and we'll go through.
Go through the app. All right. Okay.
I was just thinking, you use this as a sort of general overview of the plant conditions.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Use these images, you'll see in the app in a minute, to actually map the orchard. And then, because I've written a whole lot of other stuff to generate the map, then I use the map in the Android app.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm getting shots of it actually landing too, so I'm going to drop Mark Edworthy's head.
Doesn't want to land there. Oh, well, I'm going to tell it to land.
Excellent.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That was excellent.
The guys landed.
Okay, so let me.
That's the little box thing. Yeah, that it's.
Now,
so it's really convenient to be able to travel to different people's orchards.
Now,
you know, you don't need some massive equipment. Sorry?
That brings up a good point. What exact drone are you guys using? Just
DJI Mavic 3M, which is the multispectral version of a Mavic Pro. Well, no, Mavic Enterprise.
Okay.
Oh, that's the drones that you gave us the website for last week.
Yes, DJI.
Yeah.
Now,
this particular one is called the Mavic.
Mavic 3M.
Yeah, I was looking through the various models.
Now you said that it was multispectral and infrared, right, with the cameras?
No, not infrared, just multispectral and RGB.
RGB?
Yeah.
What kind of cameras are they?
Yeah, what kind of cameras are those?
Well, okay, we have a quick look at the camera. Can you see? So the bottom one is a 20 megapixel with a manual shutter on it. I don't know what brand it is. And the top four are the multispectral. One is near infrared, red edge, green, and I think red.
That's pretty good.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't have blue.
Now, does it have LiDAR?
No. It knows how far away the ground is, but that's about it. It's not accurate. It's too small to carry a LiDAR.
Oh, that's cool.
So I take all those images, put it into a thing called Metashape, and it generates the 3D models and the maps. Okay, right.
That's what Bob Dub was telling me about a year and a half ago. I've been waiting to talk to you about this stuff for quite a long time. I personally believe you're a genius, man. Just to let you know.
So the app originally started off, if I get this thing right, just to count fruit. So can I bring that up? So, not that there's anything to count, but I want to get some images anyway.
Okay.
So I'll go under here. Put it down here.
You okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the website and just on. Have they got a specification page? I was just trying to look for a specification page for this camera. Yeah, they have. Actually. Allowed reference into this text in the chat.
Well, it's nothing to count, but zeros on it. Fine. Actually want some of these images for something else, so that'll be fine. So it takes as many images as I tell it to per bay, counts the fruit of a fruit there, and then tells me the average for the bay. How many fruit per square metre I've got.
There you go. So that's how it actually does the counting with the map. If you take photos like that, right?
Yeah, well, that's got nothing to do with. Well, it has got something to do with the map, and that it knows where it is in the orchard,
Okay. All
and
right.
it assigns that count to that bay. That makes it, because these are called bays, right? So you have rows, and then each bay's got one or two plants in it that fill up the plant, and then you just count an individual bay and say how many fruit per square metre have I got. And if it's too much, you have to thin some off. If it's not enough, you just go bugger.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like to mention it, but how accurate is it? How accurate would you say it is?
So I've been running that for about 5 years. The counting it counts 98% of visible fruit,
Excellent.
and it has about a 1% false positive. So, the numbers are about 99% of what you can see, but there's about 2 or 3% that it can't see.
All right.
That makes sense. So it's in the 90s. It's good enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough because you just need to know approximately how much you've got, and then if it's like we aim for 40 to 45 fruit per square metre, which is about 4 fruit per square foot, I think. Yeah, something like 5 fruit per square foot. And if it's got too much, like if it's got 60 fruit per square metre, they just don't grow. They're small, so you've got to thin them off. So you go along and pull off all the small ones and all the misshapen ones and everything else.
Well, I guess the next fun question to ask is, what are your biggest obstacles when it comes to doing that? Like I know there has, just from talking to Bob Dub, I know you have a lot of obstacles.
Well, the biggest problem usually is it would be good if I could stitch images together and make them, this is what it is in the bay.
Yeah.
I haven't found a way to get that reliable yet. Eventually it'll get there. So I can only say this is an average per bay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the biggest obstacle is when you're doing it, you can put the camera in the wrong place and you get glare. And so it doesn't count the fruit because the thing's underexposed. But I've put a whole lot of things in there to try and balance it out and find the overexposed spots and take a bracketed image of it, and then try and dull down the overexposed ones and bring up the underexposed ones.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest problem is actually operator use, but seeing as I'm the only one that's used it so far, I've got to understand how it works.
Right.
Unfortunately,
I can imagine it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
Of trial and error. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking with Bob Dub too about hidden fruit and everything, and I was wondering, like, when you were saying you get glare from the lighting and stuff, but does like leaves and the wind cause problems for you?
no, not the wind. It's usually the fruit itself. There's a few leaves that get in the way, but the way it's done, if it goes tied down to the higher thing, all the fruit hangs down. Right?
Yeah.
So the fruit's all hanging down, but fruit will be obscured by other fruit.
Okay.
And count them in bunches. But like I said, as far as I'm concerned, it's accurate enough for what I want. The old way of doing it is you used to walk along with what we call a sheep counter, which is just a manual thumb, and just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, clicking the thing as you go. But after doing 2 or 3 bays, you get so, I don't know what it is, but you just lose concentration and you forget and you don't count it properly. And I've had 2 people count the same bay and get wildly different results. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it could be very practical.
How's this weather plays into it?
Yeah. How does weather play into all that? Does it affect your count and everything like that too?
no, apart from the bright sunlight. So the best time to do it is on an overcast day. But weather doesn't make any difference unless it's raining, in which case you're not under the vines anyway, because they just drip on you. It's no fun.
Yeah.
So, nobody does anything. Do we start walking? Oh no, we've got to stay close to that thing. So
I can carry that thing.
can you?
Yes,
Okay. Well, we carry that.
but I can't really carry and aim the camera. So we're going to just have to have general.
I don't actually know. Do it another way.
You
Can do it another way.
Yeah, I'll bring up the test version of the app, not the production version, because that I haven't got any plants in here. So what I do, right? So this is the map of the orchard. Yeah, does that show up? Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get the angle right.
Can't you?
Mm.
No, I'll have to cast it probably, but
There you go.
anyways, yeah. And so I go along and I'm here. There's a female plant here. So we'll into that mode. Yeah, mode. Click female plant there. Female plant there. Male plant over there. And look up the structure and see whether the structure is damaged. But if the structure is broken, I just hold this foot down and say, there's a piece of broken structure here. And then you walk along to the next one and do the same thing over and over again until you get. Bring this back. You get a map that looks like this.
Oh wow.
Can you see it? Yeah.
Yes. That is.
And I can record whether the plant is healthy or not. Whether I can record tasks. I've got a task here, and it says the leader wire is pulled away from the post. So when we went over there, you'd see that the plant was hanging off. So, quick terminology: the leader is this thing here that runs along the main trunk, and all the protein cane grows off that, and that's the leader wire, which is normally attached to the post. But over here somewhere it come off. Oh yeah, over there.
On your map, can you tell about the moisture of your soil?
I could. So this app's still in its infancy, but I've got a web portal that has more details on it. So if I wanted to record the moisture of the soil, which I can do using the multispectral camera to some extent, it would come up on the map. Or I could do soil sampling if I wanted to. So I can create a map for that and put that as an overlay. Let's see. Can I get the website here? Oh, yeah, I'm connected here. So we should be able to do this. Should be able to bring up the website.
And just as a side note too, if you want me to, I can put the URL for your website into the description of the video. So that
well, there's not much point because it's a log-on only type website.
okay.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a private portal, yeah.
for some reason this thing doesn't want to connect to the website. I don't know why that is. Oh, because it's not on.
How often do you take readings? How often do you send out the drone?
Send the drone out to map
Yeah.
the canopy.
Yeah. How often? How regular?
So I do it once in winter to do what they call the cane mapping, which is where I go around and determine what the fruit is. So I do that once in winter, and then I do it after bud break. I do it every 2 weeks or every week probably for about a month to measure how fast the canopy is growing. And then from flowering onwards, I do it probably once every 2 weeks to actually do the plant health, which is the infrared, the multispectral stuff. And then probably about February or so, which is I've pretty much stopped then because nothing really changes.
No, when it
Really interesting to see the canopy develop week by week. You can just see the growth happening. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
That's all right. So I do that, and then I run that through the Metashape stuff and create maps, which I can then upload onto the website. So I should be able to do it. So I put this in.
This is actually pretty good. Now the one question, because I've had like I said, I've had conversation with Bob Dove about this, and she said it's best to ask you whenever I have a chance to actually talk to you. So when it comes to
that's fine.
So the one thing that I really want to know is, because I've heard it before, but from her, but where do you see this technology going? And do you think like other orchards could benefit from it?
Yeah. So it's going into it's been working now. So I've got this. This is my web portal where I can go and look at all the orchard details. So this is this one here. And it's got all those tasks like a week plant needs training. So I'm going to offer this as a subscription service to other growers, plus the drone stuff as well. So I'll do a drone flight for them for so much per hectare, different types of drone flights, different prices. But then I've got all the maps. So that come up. Well, so there's my map. And it's actually overlaid last year's. It's probably not going to show very well.
Oh, I see it.
It's
really
last year's
good.
plant. That's plant health. So if I zoom in, that red area there is not much growth, yellow. So I've got various layers. So I've got actually that's the water index. It's not the plant health. So So this is the multispectral camera produces all this sort of stuff, that's the actual water in the leaves. Theoretically, that is. And I can go and look at that over time. So it changes over time. If I go back to here, there probably isn't one. I can here. So, and then over the top of that, I can overlay where all my plants are. So I can see what that is. See where the bays are.
Excellent.
So various other things. So I've got, and then I can upload other images, which are these. It creates what they call a GeoTIFF, which is a geographically referenced TIFF file, and that is what I upload.
Okay.
And that becomes my layers.
That is
Is there any way that you can use that for insect? Find out where, like, if like ants are in your garden, or where
orchards.
orchards, where they're located, or it's different.
Probably not. Probably not, because we don't have those sorts of problems. The only thing we get is cicadas, but you can't really tell. No, it's not that finer. Like, you get it down to about 1/4 of an inch per pixel. That's the best resolution you can get. So
You can detect damage to the plants, but you can't detect what is damaging. That's
you could probably see if there were insects on there. What you can do, we have a disease out here called PSA, which causes leaf spotting. So you can, if you have a look, you can leaf down here. Come off now. You can see those spots that are on the leaf. And you can quantify how bad it is. Because last year we had really bad PSA, but that's probably about it. And as I said, like in summer, it's totally covered with leaves, and you can't see all the leaves. You can only see the ones that are on top. There's about 4 layers of leaves underneath those. But yeah, so I've got all that. It shows me that, and if I go and look at blind inventory. Yeah. That shows me like all the broken structure that I've got, which is wooden breaks, got the X, and then I can produce reports on that. Bay counts. What else have I got? And that turns that into tasks, which you can then assign to people, schedule them. Got a calendar that comes up, and I can go and assign the tasks to people and put them into the calendar when they get done. What else?
So a sort of entire project management sort of facility.
Yeah, it's not a full ERP system, but you can do work planning with it. I mean, I've only just developed this in the last 6 months, so it's going to end up being pretty much a full planning system and a full orchard management system.
So, like, you can track like your bees and where you put your hives at, and give you a.
I usually leave that up to the apiarist. He decides where the hive's best to go, but because they only come in for 2 weeks, we put them in for 2 weeks and then pull them out.
How many hives do you get? 600?
No, 50.
50, sorry. 50.
8 per hectare. 8 to 10 per hectare, yeah.
That could be a really, really horrible killer bee movie if you get 600. I believe that's quite a bit, isn't it?
How far are they?
Well, so 8 per hectare is about 2 hives per acre. But we don't rely on bees. We do artificial pollination. So yeah, we get you go through. Well, in the past, I've gone through with a leaf blower that blows pollen onto the flowers. This year, I got somebody else to do it with a wet pollen, so they mix up the pollen with distilled water and spray it directly onto the flowers. With the dry pollen that I was doing before, you just spray it, blow it around, and then the bees move it onto the right flowers. You see, most kiwi fruit is what do they call it? You've got a male and a female plant. So the bee's got to go and visit the male plant before it visits the female plant, or that's no good. It's got to actually visit the female plant, or it doesn't work. So if you and female pollen doesn't do anything. So what they do is they go around and they collect the male flowers and then put that through a mill and sell you back the pollen at some horrendous price. It's about New Zealand dollars or US dollars, it'd be $2,000 a pound
Yeah.
for the pollen, and you blow that around and hope the bees move it, because they did a study and they said 25% of the bees only visit male plants; they don't visit the female plants. Another 25% only visit the female plants, and the rest of them visit both, but they don't know what order they visit them in. So you have to have and you need, they say, 40 visits per flower to get a properly pollinated piece of fruit.
Wow.
Sounds really inefficient. Really inefficient.
Yeah, that's why we do artificial pollination.
Now that actually brings up a good question that I wanted to ask, and it's like, I mean, when you do your self-pollination and everything, how much of a difference is it?
Okay, so unpollinated fruit. That's an unpollinated piece of fruit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's tiny. I haven't got there's probably a pollinated piece around here somewhere that they haven't picked up. But typically that's got maybe, if it's lucky, it's got 50 or 100 seeds in it. You need about 1,000 seeds in a kiwi fruit to make it a reasonable size. But I don't know if I can get size on.
No, be careful. Yesterday, Bob Dub tried to reach up, and I told her not to hurt herself. So.
Oh, well, it's medium size. That's about the smallest one we sell. These little ones, they just get thrown away.
Okay.
These are ones we don't get much for them. They're not worth having. I get about $4 a tray or $5 a tray for those. And the bigger ones, which I don't have, they don't leave any behind. Well, not that I can see easily. I can get $10 or $12 a tray for.
Cool.
A tray is like, so they do them by count size, right? So these, yeah, they're no good. Those are a size 42. So there's 42 fruit per, 8-pound tray. And the bigger fruit, which is size, say, 30, with 30 fruit per 8-pound tray. And 30 and below, I get the best price for. 30 at about 33s and 36s is an average price, which is where most of your fruit is, and 39s and 42s you don't get much for. 22s, 27s, 25s, yeah, you get good money for them. About a couple of dollars extra per tray for the larger fruit.
Can you tell me what?
Go ahead.
I was wondering, can you tell me what brand of bees they bring out? Because I found out that there's like 7 different types of different brands
Mostly
of bees.
they're mostly Italians.
Italian? So, okay.
Yeah, because they're docile and they work reasonably hard. New Zealand's bee population is probably 80% Italian, 15% cross between black and Italian, and 5% black bees. But blacks are they're a bit. They work harder, but they're quite vicious and hard to look after.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they mainly go for Italians.
So I have a really important question for you. Now, the big one is why kiwi instead of other crops? Why did you choose to do kiwi rather than anything else?
Because kiwi is the only crop that makes consistent money. Like we can, it hasn't been that good some years, and that's because of the management. But avocados, like 5 years ago, avocados we were getting $30 a tray for, and they cost about $10 a tray to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the last 2 years, I think we've been getting under $10 a tray. I don't sell it anymore, but we've been getting under $10 a tray for it because there's no market for it. And it used to vary. And 1 year you get 30, the next year you get $15 a tray, next year you get 20, and then you get 10, and so not consistent. Kiwi fruit, it might vary by $1 a tray.
I find that interesting because avocados are meant to be the trendy fruit.
Yeah, but the problem is too many people are growing them.
Yeah. That makes sense,
okay.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
oversaturation market. Yeah.
And the big markets, we don't export to the Northern Hemisphere hardly at all. Our market was in Australia, and it was only a window of about 6 weeks where Australia didn't produce any fruit. And now, in the last 10 years, they put in enough crop that they produce fruit all year round, and so we don't get a look in, and nobody's developed the market. So, but the reason for New Zealand kiwi fruit being so good is we have a single desk marketer. Zespri is the only people that allowed to market fruit outside of New Zealand.
Okay.
And if they, so they get the best price, because what happened was back in the early 90s, every pack house marketed its own fruit. And so they started cost cutting again, dropping their price, and it wasn't economical. And so, and in 1993, we were dumping kiwi fruit, big piles of kiwi fruit, feeding it to the stock, so much so that the stock got sick from eating it. And the government stepped in and said, right, the growers went to the government and says, we want a single desk marketer. And so they created this kiwi fruit board and Zespri, and so they sell everything. Occasionally there's a problem with it, but it's the best way to get returns, consistent returns.
I can see pros and cons on that one. I can see that your prices are really demanded by governments rather than markets.
I was wondering, do you have them bees that where you have rotten fruit and they're no longer good, but and these bees, they come and they eat it and they bring it back to their nest? And
no, bees over here, they've got so much other stuff. That's the actual problem, was we can't get bees to go and pollinate the kiwi fruit. And the fruit, there's probably a few bit of around. We don't leave much fruit on the vines, but in theory, we're supposed to drop it all on the ground so the birds don't eat it and take the seed somewhere else, and we get wild kiwi fruit growing everywhere. So we've got to dump it all on the ground. And we don't get bees. Occasionally get wasps, but not much else. I think it go away.
That actually brings me back to the next important question, I guess. What's the hardest part for you when it comes to running an orchard?
Actually knowing what's going on. This is why I invented this app, because you have at least, right? So the pack house would come in and they would do all the work, and they never do anything right. I never knew what was going on, and then one year I'd make good money, the next year I'd be losing money, because they hadn't. The thing with kiwi fruit is, any agriculture crop, is you've got to do things at the right time. If you don't do things at the right time, then they don't work, right? Like straight after flowering, 3 weeks after flowering, you've got to come through and thin off all the small fruit, because the way kiwi fruit grows, if you have a look at this, can you focus in on me? No, come here. There's two fruit growing off the one stalk. Well, there was three. So that one there will be a small fruit. So they have to come in and pick that fruit off, drop it before it takes all the goodness away from the fruit that was on that stalk. So 3 weeks after flowering, you come in and you drop all that fruit. And if you leave that for another 2 weeks, because the first 6 weeks of a kiwi fruit's life, the division is what determines how fast it grows. And after that, it's just accumulation. So it stops dividing the cells and the cells get bigger. But if you don't get rid of that fruit as early as you can, the fruit that you're not going to actually sell takes up the weight from the fruit that you are going to sell. So if you don't do that, and then that was what was happening. They wouldn't come in and they wouldn't thin the fruit when it needed to be thinned. They wouldn't do the other thing. So yeah.
I was wondering, do they do the thing of your pH level for your plants?
No, not well. We do one soil test a year. Soil test comes in, and then they'll do a fertilizer recommendation and throw it on. But pH doesn't vary that much. Once you've got it down right, we usually throw on mostly lime and nitrates is what we throw on. We do probably 2 applications, which would be probably, what is that? Probably 1.5 ton per hectare.
Yeah.
not per hectare, per acre.
It was interesting because the last time I messed around with the pH and stuff, we were actually getting into to the whole thing about lime, and that's I was telling Mark about that too. Like with peppers, they like sulfur, so that's actually pretty cool that you brought that up.
Yeah, but in peppers, you're growing them. That you plant them every couple of years, don't you? You
Yeah.
replant them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, these vines here are nearly 50 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
A little bit old. Some of them are a bit old. Some of them are newer than that. But yeah, I think it was put in 1980. So yeah, 46 years old.
Now you were talking about your harvest season. Now, for me, I'd like to see what your harvest system looks like. How many people are actually involved, and how long does it take for you to do it?
Well, it depends on what the availability is. But this year they came in and they had 50 people picking the fruit, and another 3, loading the bins out and setting the bins out for them to pick up and loading the trucks as they came in. And it took them 2 days to harvest the orchard. But sometimes maybe only 10 or 15 people will come in and pick it, and they'll take a week to do it. But because we're at the end of the season, they've finished all the other orchards, so they just throw people at it, and it usually gets done in a couple of days.
What would be the perfect weather for your kiwi? The best kiwi you ever got for a year?
2 years ago. So the best one is warm spring. Not too wet in the spring, enough. Enough rain between flowering and say the first 8 to 10 weeks after flowering, and then after that it can be as dry as it likes. Because and preferably dry at the end, because we get paid on the amount of dry matter that's in the fruit. So there's a thing called a taste payment. So the more dry matter you've got, the more money you get. And I'm lucky. This is the only thing that saves this orchard, is it's a high dry matter orchard. So it produces very tasty fruit.
I was just thinking, not only does kiwis get sold as raw products, but I presume you ship a lot to perfume companies or liqueur.
No, we ship. So my reject rate, last year my reject rate was quite high. It was about 15% of fruit got rejected. Most of it goes to stock food.
Okay.
A little bit of it goes to juice and other things, but no, I don't think it ever goes to perfume. I don't think it does.
Right.
Most of, and like typically the rejects are about 8 to 10% of the whole crop is rejected. It doesn't get sold as edible fruit.
What is your construction, your maintenance on your kiwi area? Like if something breaks down, what is your process of it?
See, so this has got what they call egg beam in it, which is steel beams. There's still faces around here that have got wood, and the wood is 50 years old. So the wooden posts, the posts are okay. They stay on the ground for another 20 years. But the wood at the end is good at the end there, you can see, it breaks. So this year I've got to replace probably probably about a mile. Probably about a mile's worth of wood. It's got to be replaced with egg beam. But once that's done, it'll last another 50 years. The posts might rot out after a while, but so yeah, that's what happens is that the wood breaks, and then the crop falls. Everything goes down because it's all held up on wires, and then the sprayers can't get through. If they can get through, they knock the fruit. So yeah, you don't want to do that.
Now, it's becoming popular here lately, and Mark gets irritated whenever I always bring this up. But for me personally, I'm just asking, would you trust LLMs to like monitor your garden or your
Yep, that's what I'm aiming for. So the first thing that I'm going to get them to do, and I'm already doing that, is to tell me how good the pruning job was. Because they've got to come along here, cut a whole lot of the stuff out, pick the fruit, the new canes to tie down for the next year, and cut the other stuff out that's no good. And so I need to know that the people that have come in have picked the right canes, they've spread them evenly across the orchard, or across the bays, and they put the good quality, and they haven't got gaps. Because what usually happens, if we do a thing called low vigor pruning, we take last year's growth and leave it there for a while, and tie down the stuff that fruited last year. It's tied down for this year's fruit, because you only grow fruit off fresh growth. It doesn't grow off the old growth. And what happens, which is what's happened in the past to these people here, come up here, dude. You get that's over here. It's 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. Oh, look, this is 8 years old.
Wow.
And that grows out into away from the leader. And what happens is you don't get any fruit in here. You get no fruit in this zone here. You get all the fruit comes out at the end of the leader, and that's what happens when people don't notice what's going on. And the other thing is these growing crowns here. This is where it's growing off the leader. It gets too tall, and nobody can reach that fruit up there, so it never gets picked.
Yeah.
So they've got to cut that off, and they've got to. This year they'll come in and I'll tell them to cut this one out, even though it would provide. Let's see. There. Oh, it's got some good canes out here, so they might leave that one in. But in a couple of years' time, it's not going to be producing enough fruit close to the leader, or growth close to the leader. And the problem is the the hormones that it produces stops the leader producing new shoots. So it becomes a problem, because then nothing in here produces shoots, because all the hormones tell it don't produce anything except out here. And so that's what they have to do. They have to come in and cut all this back and make sure there's the right balance of old wood and new wood.
Do they cover up the spot where they cut at? Make sure there's no disease or fungus?
No, we just cut it. Too much. Too much. If they cut a big chunk off, like if they came in and they cut this off, they would paint that with copper, but that would be it. They wouldn't. None of the stuff here that they've pruned, they just prune this back, they just prune it. Leave it open. What we do, though, is after pruning, we spray it with copper.
Okay.
So I put a copper spray on it. We put a copper spray after they picked as well, so that PSA doesn't go up through the fruit field.
Now, Bob Dub has this on a strict schedule here, so
She does.
we have like maybe 4 or 5 minutes before we have reached the hour and everything. I want to ask you something, though, that is very, very important, and I think it's something I need to ask you, okay? In your opinions, do you think drones will become common for agriculture in
they already are over here for agriculture. Not so. More people are using them for kiwi fruit and stuff like that. But they're common for agriculture now. I mean, most dairy farmers have been using drones for about 8 or 9 years to monitor their herds. Even at some stages, mind you, the dairy cattle around here, you don't even have to train them. But some people have used the drones to herd sheep and that. The dairy cattle, they know where to be. The funny thing is, we used to go and take dogs out, bring the dairy cattle in to be milked. Now the cattle come in when they're ready to be milked.
Yeah.
I'm in Devon in the UK, and obviously it's a very agricultural sort of cow farming area down there, and I do see drones quite often around where I am.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I've been using the drone for 2 years over here, and like the first year, it found an area of the kiwi fruit that had a disease called armillaria, and that tends to make the root, it destroys the roots. And what happens is because they put so much out, so many flowers, the plant becomes overloaded and it dies. So when I found the armillaria, I could get them to go in and pull off half the fruit so the plant survived for another year before we could treat it. Yeah, all those sorts of things. But the problem with the kiwi fruit industry is most people that own the orchards are older than me, and I'm nearly 70. So,
Hey, I'm telling you what, I don't think you need LLMs. By the way you've done this show, man, you're a pro. You know what I mean? Just to let you know that. And
LLMs, I don't use LLMs so much. I use other AI, like image segmentation and object detection.
Mhm.
I use the LLM to do the coding because, man, that's so good at writing code.
Okay.
I've written code for 50 years, but I might be able to write better code, but I cannot write as much as fast.
Right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not a developer per se anymore. More on the sort of end user support and network deployment. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of large language models when it comes to coding or the vibe coding idea.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Don't vibe code. Do not vibe code. You have to do it properly. There's a whole lot of skills you can use, and the first thing you do is you generate a spec for what you want to
And
produce.
if we're going to talk about this, it's going to be next time because Bob Dub's
Right.
got us on
Fair
a
enough.
strict
Fair
schedule,
enough.
and she knows exactly where this conversation goes.
Right.
Sure.
So we have 2 minutes to go before we end this. I want to be professional at the ending of it and ask Colin if he has any information he'd like to share with the audience so that they can get in touch with him if he wants to be contacted.
So, yeah, not really. I mean, you can go and have a look at the vinemetrics.co.nz website, but it's a year out of date. I need to fix it up. That basically shows some of the things that we were doing a year ago and where we were planning on going. But yeah, at the moment,
Here's the demo of how the maps work.
yeah.
Video.
Oh, yeah, we got the demo video of that's how the old maps work. The whole
Oh,
there you go.
demo video.
It moved on in the last year quite significantly due to LLMs. So yeah, no, and as I said, like it's
But you're on LinkedIn, aren't you?
on LinkedIn and do I have a Facebook page as well? But mostly at the moment I'm trying to I am. I'm just trying to target New Zealand growers because I don't want to put this technology outside of New Zealand because the Chinese will get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the other places that we compete with is Chile. So I'm going to keep it in New Zealand for as long as I can, and then I might export it to Europe. But there's enough other people.
It sounds good. Now, I want to thank you for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. We better end this soon because if we don't, Bob Dub, our boss, is going to get very, very upset with us.
Yeah.
And
I was just
Yeah,
wondering,
I know that.
so,
what do you guys do about the wasp? Do you have wasp problems or something that
Robert, I'm ending the show.
Yeah. Next time.
Next time, Robert.
Next time.
Save it. We'll come back. We definitely will come back, Robert.
Okay.
all right?
Well, we'll do another one on how the app is written and tell you
That
how to
would-
do LLMs properly. But
That would be excellent. That would be excellent. And you are always welcome to come on here. We would even set up a bonus segment for you to call it something like drone hanger or something, where you come in and
yeah, at the moment I spend all my time with the LLM trying to write code, so I don't really have a huge amount of spare time.
I understand. And with that,
Thank you, buddy.
I thank you for coming in and doing this. This is a big deal for me. I've been wanting to actually get you on the show for quite a long time, to be honest with you. And
I don't like speaking to people, so that's a hard thing for me to do.
I appreciate it. I really do. And with that,
Yeah, no problem.
with that, I guess I'll do my cool closing. So tonight we've We've seen something that's becoming more and more common all over the world. Agriculture isn't just tractors and shovels anymore. It's drones, artificial intelligence, computer vision, data analysts. But beneath all of that, it's still about taking care of the land. Technology doesn't replace good growers. It gives them another tool to help them grow smarter. I'd like to thank both Bob Dub and Colum for taking us into their orchard and sharing not only their experience, but also the innovations that are helping shape the future of farming. Until next time, whenever you are in the world, keep growing, keep learning, and keep sharing your journey with others. We'll see you next week on Growing Together. Have a good night. Okay, got that done.
That was a good. That was a really good outro.
Oh, thank you.
It's brilliant, of course, OG. Brilliant, dude. Thank you so much.
It's like I said, I'm wanting to take this Growing Together show serious. You know what I mean? It's like this is something I think a lot of people really need to be a part of, and they're not. And it's just it's getting back to nature and doing things the right way. You know what I mean? Me and Robert, we've been talking about doing this for a while, and I'm really glad you guys are
and
helping.
also bringing in sort of modern technology into the realm
Right.
as well. Yeah.
Mhm. And
Well, you're going to love seeing the app. You're really going to love seeing the app. It's the best part. This is cool and awesome and green and everything, but the app is magic. It's like as a little kid who used to run around barefoot in Africa. Let me tell you, I'm in space age land here.
that's awesome.